Jiangnan City No. 2 High School, Huaguo. Today is the Talent Awakening Day for senior high school students. 200 years ago, monsters invaded Blue Star from the land of divine retribution, ushering in an era of universal talent awakening. Inside the awakening chamber, the school leaders were seated on a high platform. In the middle sat the old principal, his sparse hair barely covering his head, as he began his speech. Students, 2 years ago, Dugu, one of the 4 human sovereigns, perished in battle. The demon race seized the opportunity to launch a counterattack, plunging humanity into a dire situation. This is the worst of times, but also the best of times. In the past 100 years, no one among the human race has awakened an SSS-grade talent. Since Dugu's fall, everyone has been hoping for the emergence of a new human sovereign. I hope you seize this opportunity to awaken your talents. Who knows? The next human sovereign might be among you. The old principal's speech ignited the students' enthusiasm, leaving them brimming with excitement, eager to shake their neighbors awake. Everyone, except for a black-haired, handsome boy sitting in the last row, who muttered in shock. Is this a dream? Monsters invading, talent awakening. Su Yan instinctively touched his thigh, intending to pinch himself to check. Something felt off. Why does my leg feel smooth, and kind of nice to the touch? He turned his gaze and was met with the resentful eyes of his deskmate. You idiot, that's my leg you're touching. His deskmate, Tang Xia, looked both startled and annoyed. Su Yan, I've always treated you like a brother, and now, while I'm asleep, you sneakily touch me? Wait, a female deskmate? Not the fat guy? Su Yan was dumbfounded. Looking down, he noticed her short skirt, her fair, slender legs exposed, the smoothness of her skin undeniable. The edge of her safety shorts peeked out slightly, and Su Yan frowned. Even guarding against your deskmate? Before Tang Xia could react, Su Yan quickly withdrew his hand, coughed, and said, My bad, wrong touch, wrong touch. Wrong touch? Then where exactly were you planning to touch? Tang Xia glared at him, her face puffed with anger. Su Yan sighed helplessly. Giving her a glance, he thought about ending this bizarre dream. Pinching his own thigh, the intense pain made him yelp, it hurts. This isn't a dream? Everyone turned to look at him, and the old principal frowned. Do you have a problem? Su Yan froze for a couple of seconds, then pointed to Tang Xia and said, Principal, my deskmate volunteers to go first for the awakening. Your deskmate? Stand up and let me take a look, the old principal said, smiling. Oh my. Beside him, Tang Xia gritted her teeth. Reluctantly, she stood up, pretending to look wronged as she said, Principal, I was just joking, please don't take it seriously. The old principal chuckled, courage is commendable. You'll go first. The pen in Tang Xia's hand snapped in half. With her hair tied in a high ponytail and wearing a school uniform with a short skirt, Tang Xia was guided onto the awakening platform. She placed her hand on the crystal. Before long, Tang Xia, B-grade talent, flame frenzy. Once the result was announced, the room erupted in exclamations, and the leaders nodded approvingly. Discussions broke out all around. Incredible! She dared to go first and awakened a B-grade flame talent. A B-grade flame talent could rank in the top 5 of the whole school in past years. This year, it's definitely top tier. Su Yan lazily leaned back in his seat, still trying to process the memories flooding his mind. He was a little dazed. This transmigration is really strange. But hearing the chatter around him, Su Yan began to accept it. In his newfound memories, talents were classified into grades, ranging from F to SSS, with vast differences between them. The higher the grade, the harder it was to awaken. Experts claimed that 99.9% of humanity's talents didn't exceed B-grade. 1 in 10,000 awakened an A-grade talent. 1 in 10 million awakened an S-grade talent. And SSS-grade talents were so rare that only 4 had appeared in the past century. So, Tang Xia's B-grade flame talent was already very impressive. On the awakening platform. Thank you, teacher. Tang Xia exhaled in relief, bowing slightly, her face beaming with a bright smile. Returning to her seat, she clasped her hands behind her back, her ponytail swaying, and winked at Su Yan. Well, isn't your big sister awesome? Su Yan straightened up and replied dismissively. TCH, it's just B-grade. Wait till you see me awaken an SSS-grade talent and blow your mind. You wish. Li Chang, D-grade talent, swift windstep. Zhang Tao, C-grade talent, enhanced crafting. Finally, it was Su Yan's turn. He stood up confidently, immediately drawing everyone's attention. There was no denying it, Su Yan was very handsome. Standing at 1.8 meters tall, with a clean and charming face and a warm, sunny smile, he was the kind of guy who could make any girl's heart skip a beat. Su Yan walked briskly to the awakening platform. The staff member asked, Are you ready? Place your palm gently on the crystal and maintain contact for 30 seconds. Got it, Su Yan replied, following the instructions. In moments, the crystal emitted a faint glow, threads of light flowing into his body. After 30 seconds, the light faded. Su Yan, S-grade talent, tenfold absorption. The staff member announced. The room instantly burst into astonished cheers. An S-grade talent? This was the first time in Jiangnan No. 2 High School's history that someone had awakened an S-grade talent. But the cheers quickly turned into laughter. Su Yan was stunned. Tenfold absorption, S-grade possesses an extraordinary appetite and the ability to absorb nutrients at 10 times the normal rate. Talents were categorized into 3 types: combat, support, and useless. Combat talents were the rarest and most sought after, like Tang Xiao's flame frenzy. Support talents were typically used in logistics roles, like priests or craftsmen. Useless talents, as the name suggested, had little to no practical value. A century ago, someone awakened an SS-grade useless talent called divine slumber, which only allowed them to sleep endlessly. It was utterly pointless. Su Yan's tenfold absorption seemed to fall into this category. Apart from eating more and absorbing faster, it didn't seem to have any other use. On the high platform, the old principal, who had been overjoyed moments ago, turned pale upon hearing the talent's description. He sighed. It's an S-grade talent. We thought it would bring humanity a new top-tier warrior and bring glory to our school, but, sigh, what a pity. No one was more disappointed than Su Yan himself. He stood silently in front of the crystal for a long time until the staff urged him to step down. It's fine. At least it's an S-grade talent as a foundation. As long as I survive the early stages, the S-grade stat bonuses will still allow me to become a top-tier warrior later on. With this thought, Su Yan felt slightly consoled. Thank you, teacher. He expressed his gratitude, accepted reality, and turned to return to his seat. But after taking just 2 steps, you have awakened an SSS-grade talent, otherworldly hero. You have awakened an SSS-grade talent, chosen one. You have awakened an SSS-grade talent, divine shackles. You have awakened an SSS-grade talent, supreme authority. You have awakened an SSS-grade talent, elemental conversion. You have awakened an SSS-grade talent, descendant of the divine. You have awakened an SSS-level talent, ultimate attributes. You have awakened an SSS-level talent, eyes of the gods. You have awakened an SSS-level talent, void rift. What is going on? Su Yan's entire body shuddered with excitement, reaching the peak of exhilaration. He had actually awakened 9 SSS-level talents. This is real. Not an illusion. Deep breath. Calm down. Seeing his classmates' sympathetic gazes, he suppressed his excitement and tried his best to stay composed. Returning to his seat, his deskmate Tang Xia leaned lazily against the desk, grinning mischievously. Wow, Su Yan, how impressive. You actually awakened an S-level talent. What? Tenfold absorption? Oh, never mind then. Ha 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 ha. Su Yan ignored her goose laugh, sat down, and asked with a strange expression, Stop laughing, let me ask you something. Ha ha ha, what is it? Su Yan asked, Is it possible for someone to awaken multiple talents? That's impossible. The books clearly state that throughout history, even the human emperors only ever awakened 1 talent. His memory was crystal clear. His 9 SSS-level talents were unprecedentedly unique, utterly absurd. The excitement he felt was impossible to fake. After calming down for a while, Su Yan began to check the details of his talents. Otherworldly warrior, SSS luck and 5 core stats reached their maximum limits, encounter rate set to 100%. Chosen 1, SSS maximizes charisma and growth stats, allowing the use of all class equipment. Divine shackles, SSS can place shackles on divine avatars and form contracts. Descendant of divinity, SSS is a descendant of divine beings. You master all elemental systems, fire, lightning, etc., deal 50% more damage to demons, gain a 20% critical rate increase, and receive daily divine blessings. Void Rift, SSS grants infinite inventory space and the power to manipulate the void. The sheer number of abilities made his vision blur for a moment. With years of online gaming experience, Su Yan could only describe these SSS-level talents in one word: broken. No wonder those who awaken a single SSS-level talent ultimately become human emperors, standing at the pinnacle of humanity to protect Blue Star. Su Yan's heart burned with ambition. He couldn't help but wonder, if 1 SSS-level talent can create a human emperor, what could 9 talents achieve? 2 hours later, the awakening ceremony concluded, and the students gradually returned to the classroom. According to the Human Alliance's regulations, anyone who awakens talents is eligible to enter the Land of Divine Punishment. The Land of Divine Punishment, also known as the Land of Descent. In simple terms, it's like a massive game world filled with maps, wild creatures, bosses, and dungeons. Each map has a level cap, and once you reach the maximum level, you must complete breakthrough quests to unlock the next one. Players challenge and level up here, and the abilities and items they gain can be brought back to reality. Watching his classmates eagerly rush into the Land of Divine Punishment to level up, Tang Xia noticed Su Yan spacing out. Thinking he was still upset about only awakening an S-level talent, she smiled and said, Don't worry, your big sis won't leave you behind. Come on, I'll take you to level up. In truth, Su Yan was so overwhelmed by his numerous SSS-level talents that he was busy studying them, racing against time to figure them out. He looked up with a goofy grin and said, You'll take me? At that moment, a line of text appeared next to Tang Xiao's face. Don't doubt it, she genuinely wants to help you level up. This was the effect of the SSS-level talent eyes of the gods. It allowed him to perceive all things, and revealing hints was just a fraction of its immense power. Tang Xia crossed her arms and raised an eyebrow. I just don't want to see my deskmate fail to get into college. I'll help you out, begrudgingly. If you really want to help me, why not rub my leg instead? Su Yan muttered under his breath. Tang Xia's face turned red instantly, she clearly heard him. Su Yan, you're impossible. 2 minutes later. Su Yan touched the linked crystal in the top left corner of his desk. The crystal glowed faintly. A wave of dizziness swept over him, and his consciousness faded. When he opened his eyes again, he was standing in a golden, resplendent temple. A goddess dressed in a pure white gown floated in midair, radiating holy light. Traveler, welcome to the land of divine punishment. Detection complete, this is your first entry. Please create a divine punishment ID. As someone terrible at naming things, Su Yan said without hesitation, random. Random generation successful. ID, Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer? Not bad, quite fitting for him. Please select your class. In the land of divine punishment, classes are divided into 3 categories: combat, support, and lifestyle. Combat classes include warrior, knight, mage, priest, archer, rogue, summoner, and so on. Su Yan had already made up his mind. Warrior. A real man always picks warrior. Class selection successful. Congratulations. Detection complete, you possess the SSS-level talents, Otherworldly Warrior, Chosen One, and Descendant of Divinity, unlocking the hidden class, Wrathful Mage. Would you like to choose Wrathful Mage as your primary class? Su Yan's excitement skyrocketed as he quickly checked. At that moment, Eyes of the Gods displayed a new message. This class exceeds known limits. Choose carefully. What? Even my SSS-level talent can't reveal its details? Su Yan was both shocked and thrilled. Clearly, the Wrathful Mage class was incredibly mysterious and anything but ordinary. Choose it. Without hesitation, he confirmed Wrathful Mage as his primary class. Synchronizing attributes. Attribute synchronization complete. After a few seconds, a character sheet appeared before him. ID, Demon Slayer. Level, 1. Class, Wrathful Mage, Secondary Class, Warrior. Talents, Tenfold Absorption, S level, Otherworldly Warrior, SSS level, Chosen One, SSS level, Void Rift, SSS level. Health, 150/150, plus 5,000. Mana, 100/100, plus 3,000. Attack, 20, plus 200. Spell power, 40, plus 250. Defense, 10, plus 100. Magic defense, 15, plus 150. Speed, 10, plus 60. Luck, max. Charisma, max. Equipment, none. Skills, Judgment LV1, Retribution LV1, Purification LV1. Constitution 10, Spirit 10, Strength 10, Intelligence 10, Agility 10. Su Yan was overjoyed. His main class had successfully changed to Wrath Mage, and his secondary class as a warrior had also been retained. Dual classes, he pondered. In the land of divine punishment, dual classing was a concept, though rare. Many top-tier human players had dual classes, but acquiring them early on was nearly impossible without awakening the right talents. Without such talents, the odds of obtaining dual classes were slim to none. Beyond his dual classes, Su Yan's 5 main attributes were all at 10, which stood out impressively thanks to the bonus from his SSS-level talent, Otherworldly Hero. For reference, an average person's starting attributes ranged from 1 to 10. Su Yan's balanced and versatile stats made him a rarity, almost impossible to match. The additional bonuses on his attribute panel came from another SSS-level talent * Perfect Attributes *, which comprehensively enhanced his overall power. At level 1, his stats were jaw-droppingly overpowered, setting a new standard for rookie players. Finally, his skill panel already contained 3 abilities, clearly exclusive to the Wrathmage class. Judgment LV1, * ignore level restrictions to apply a judgment mark. If your intelligence exceeds the targets, the mark is applied successfully. Inflicts weakness for 5 seconds and deals 500 plus 70% spell power as damage. Cooldown, 15 seconds. Mana cost, 100. Sanction LV1, * ignores magic resistance and buffs, directly dealing 800 plus 200% spell power as damage to the target. If the target is under the judgment status, deals an additional 1000 plus 300% spell power as damage. Cooldown, 20 seconds. Mana cost, 200. Purify LV1, *. The last skill appeared shrouded in mystery, leaving Su Yan puzzled. He decided to shelve it for now. Even with just judgment and sanction, Su Yan was ecstatic. This was clearly a combo ultimate: mark the target with judgment and finish them with sanction. With his level 1 spell power of 290, as long as judgment landed, the bonus damage from sanction would be devastating. After confirming his attributes, a prompt appeared: please adjust your appearance. Su Yan confidently replied, "No need. Let's start." Divine power enveloped the temple as the goddess of dawn gently asked, "Traveler, are you ready to cross the Stargate and enter the land of divine punishment?" Without hesitation, Su Yan stepped into the Stargate and vanished in a flash of white light. In the blink of an eye, he arrived at Newbie Village number 1996, Nasi Farm. The area was desolate and overgrown with weeds. A weathered windmill stood under the scorching sun, a lonely sentinel of a once thriving settlement, silently narrating tales of past disasters. "This feels so real," Su Yan muttered, flexing his fingers and moving his limbs in awe. After a brief adjustment period, he checked his gear. Although his main class was Wrath Mage, he was still wearing warrior starter gear. "No big deal. I'll focus on leveling up first," he said, scanning his surroundings. The Newbie village was bustling with players, but not overcrowded. After all, the game world of divine punishment had been running for 2 centuries. "This world is way too immersive. The tactile feedback is amazing," one player exclaimed. "Excited much? But keep your hands off my butt," another retorted. "I awakened a C-grade Earth talent Earth Rift. Looking for a team to grind XP," someone shouted. "Looking for a knightly beauty to be my in-game partner. She's all yours if you're willing," another joked. Amid the chatter, Su Yan ignored the noise and prepared to head outside the farm to test his skills on some wild monsters. According to the game's lore, Nasi Farm was originally a human settlement for newcomers. 200 years ago, it fell to a werewolf invasion, forcing the humans to retreat. What was once a safe haven for beginners had now become werewolf territory. The player's main objective was to break through the werewolf blockade and advance toward the Forest Kingdom. Before long, Su Yan reached the grasslands outside the farm. The area was teeming with roaming werewolves, ranging from level 1 to level 5. Werewolf. Level 2. Health, 250. Attack, 50. Defense, 45. Magic defense, 50. Speed, 15. Skill, Bloodlust, passive. Upon seeing these stats, Su Yan was taken aback. A level 2 monster with an attack stat of 50 was no joke. Most level 1 players with beginner gear had attack and spell power stats around 25 and 35, respectively, not even enough to break the werewolf's defense. And with the werewolf's superior speed, teaming up seemed essential. But Su Yan had no intention of forming a party. "Let's test my damage first," he muttered, striding toward a level 2 werewolf. Not far away, a party of 4, comprising a warrior, summoner, mage, and archer, were engaged in a fierce battle with another level 2 werewolf. The warrior was at the front, dodging attacks while swinging a massive sword. "Finally, it's down to 10% health. Keep going," he yelled. Meanwhile, the summoner, mage, and archer were bombarding the werewolf from a safe distance, desperately spamming their attacks. The archer's 7th shot even included true damage, making it the strongest early game class. When they noticed Su Yan taking on a werewolf solo, they panicked and shouted, "Hey, Demon Slayer! Are you insane? Run! Come back and team up with us." But Su Yan ignored them. Drawing his sword, he charged at the towering werewolf. Standing at 3 meters tall, the beast was a hulking, ferocious creature whose roar sent shivers down the spine. Swiftly dodging its attack, Su Yan countered with a critical strike, instantly slaying the werewolf and earning both experience points and wolf meat. Satisfied with his damage output, Su Yan reflected that his unique talents gave him bonuses to both damage and critical hits against demonic creatures. Even without landing a critical hit, his power was enough to one-shot the werewolf. With this kind of damage, why bother grinding newbie quests or mobs? Soloing dungeons would be way more efficient. The 4 players, still reeling from Su Yan's display of power, stared in disbelief. They were so stunned that they failed to notice their own party being wiped out by the werewolf, completely shattering their morale. Was this even the same game? The level cap for the newbie map was 50, requiring players to complete a breakthrough quest to proceed to the next area. Su Yan's immediate goal was to hit level 50 as quickly as possible. Dungeons were the best way to gain experience in divine punishment, offering not only XP but also gear and items. With over 2 hours left before his real-world obligations, Su Yan decided to head for the strongest dungeon in the newbie map, the level 50 Werewolf King's Valley. It was the quickest way to power level. Opening his character interface to check his experience meter, he gasped. What the heck? Leveling up to 2 requires 99,999,999,999 XP. He triple-checked with a magnifying glass it wasn't a mistake. Suspecting this was due to his class, he reviewed the description for Wrath Mage. Wrath Mage, * upon acquiring this hidden class, further level-ups are disabled. Once the XP bar is filled, you may undertake the Ascension quest. Upon completion, you will immediately obtain a Divine Core and ascend to Mage God status. Su Yan inhaled sharply. This opportunity was insane. Without hesitation, he decided, let's hit the dungeon now. Heart racing with excitement, he eagerly made his way toward the Werewolf King's Valley. Buzz! A sudden flash of light appeared ahead. A level 50 knight in full plate armor stormed toward Nasi Farm, likely returning to complete a quest. Su Yan hurriedly stepped forward and asked, "Hey buddy, how long does it take to get to Wolf King Valley from here?" The knight glanced at him, frowning. "You're level 1, and I'm level 50. You're calling me buddy?" Su Yan chuckled. "Don't mind that. Just tell me the time." The knight responded, "About 2 hours at full speed." Curious, he asked, "You just created your character. Why are you heading to Wolf King Valley?" Su Yan explained, "Leveling here is too slow. I want to grind dungeons for faster progress." The knight nearly burst out laughing. "You? Soloing a dungeon?" Su Yan seriously invited him to join a team, only to be instantly rejected. The knight sneered, "Wolf King Valley is the top beginner dungeon. You need a 5-man team with a tank, DPS, and healer just to have a chance. And even then, success depends on luck. You're level 1 and want to go there? Dream on. Better level up properly, or you'll just get killed by mobs on the way." Su Yan smiled. "Thanks for the advice." The knight shook his head as he watched Su Yan walk away. What an idiot. In the land of divine punishment, dying results in experience loss and a debuff penalty, with the duration increasing as your level rises. After parting ways with the knight, Su Yan followed a guide and made haste toward Wolf King Valley. With plenty of time, he decided to attempt soloing the level 50 dungeon. Attention, SSS level talent, Descendant of the Gods, has activated its blessing. Receive Dragon Phoenix Blood times 20. First time blessing detected. Newbie gift pack granted. Congratulations, you've obtained the SSS-grade weapon Shura Sword *. Su Yan's eyes lit up. An SSS-grade weapon. He opened his inventory to check the rewards. Dragon Phoenix Blood, high grade, restores 5000 HP, heals 2000 injuries, 15-second cooldown. Such high grade potions were worth around 100 gold coins each. Gold coins could be exchanged for real money, with 1 gold coin equaling 100 Chinese yuan. 20 Dragon Phoenix Bloods had a market value of 20,000 yuan. SSS-grade talents are insane. Su Yan was thrilled. For a student, 20,000 yuan was an astronomical sum, enough to buy a high-end gaming PC. Not to mention, these potions also healed injuries, making them even more valuable. He calmed himself and turned his attention to the Shura Sword's attributes. Shura Sword, SSS Constitution plus 20, Strength plus 66, Agility plus 30, Critical hit rate plus 100%. Equipment level requirement, 1, Type, Greatsword. Exclusive skill, Shura Slash, * deals 100 plus 300% of attack as physical damage to enemies within a 50-meter radius, with a 30% chance to slow targets for 5 seconds. 20-second cooldown. No resource cost. Su Yan was dumbfounded. An SSS-grade weapon with an exclusive skill. SSS-grade weapons were incredibly rare, only 6 were known to exist. Even obtaining an S-grade weapon was a monumental task, requiring the defeat of a level 2000 boss or a master craftsman's skills. Their value reached tens of millions of gold coins, close to $1 billion in real currency. And among those, weapons with exclusive skills were even more extraordinary, only 1 in 10,000 weapons had them. The 6 existing SSS-grade weapons were all without exclusive skills, making the Shura Sword an exception. Its only drawback was its low-level requirement, just level 1. Most players would stash it away once they outleveled it, unless they were die-hard fans of its exclusive skill, Shura Slash. But for Su Yan, things were different. He had chosen the God Rage Mage class, whose level remained locked at level 1 until ascending to godhood. The Shura Sword was perfect for him. After equipping the Shura Sword, Su Yan's stats received a massive boost. ID, * Demon Slayer. Level, *1. Class, * God Rage Mage, subclass, Warrior. Talents, * Tenfold Absorption, Otherworldly Hero, SSS, Chosen One, SSS, Void Rift, SSS. HP, * 5450/5450. MP, * 3100/3100. Attack, * 352. Magic Power, * 290. Defense, * 110. Magic Defense, * 165. Speed, * 100. Luck, * max. Charm, * max. Equipment, * Shura Sword, Newbie Warrior Set. Skills, * Judgment LV1, Retribution LV1, Purification LV1, Shura Slash LV1. Even without factoring in his talents or the Shura Sword, his base stats already surpassed those of an average level 50 player. Still not enough. Su Yan knew that even with all this, soloing a level 50 dungeon at level 1 was borderline absurd. He'd need some magic to pull it off. And he had a plan. Elemental Conversion, activate. As he traveled, Su Yan pulled out another SSS-grade talent. Elemental Conversion, SSS * allows the conversion of any weapon or skill's elemental attributes. He decided to test it on the Shura Sword first. The sword's original attributes were Constitution plus 20, Strength plus 66, Agility plus 30. Using the talent, he changed. Strength plus 66, Constitution plus 66. After confirming, the blade shimmered with a brilliant light. Updated attributes. Shura sword, Constitution +20, Constitution +66, Agility +30. Success. Converting the 66 points of strength into Constitution worked flawlessly. The SSS-grade talent lived up to its reputation. Su Yan laughed joyfully. Now that's what I'm talking about. To maximize his potential, he decided to take things a step further. He applied elemental conversion again, this time targeting the exclusive skill Shura Slash. The skill originally dealt 100 plus 300% of attack as physical damage. Su Yan modified it to 100 plus 300% of attack, 100 plus 300% of HP. After confirming, the blade's glow intensified. Conversion complete. The updated Shura Slash now dealt 100 plus 300% of HP as physical damage to all enemies within a 50-meter radius. HP was the highest stat for most attributes. Top-tier human players often had HP in the tens of millions or even billions. Even average players had HP far exceeding their attack or magic power. With this conversion, the damage output of Shura Slash skyrocketed nearly tenfold. I'm a genius, Su Yan declared. He didn't stop there. Next, he used the same trick on his God Rage Mage exclusive skill, Judgment. The original skill, Judgment LV1, was modified into Judgment LV1, ignores level restrictions to mark a target for judgment. If the target's luck is lower than yours, the mark is guaranteed to succeed. The target is weakened for 5 seconds and takes 500 plus 70% of HP as magic damage ***. He not only replaced the percentage damage from magic power with HP but also changed the judgment condition from intelligence to luck. My luck is maxed out. Who can compete with that? Su Yan grinned. This ensured that his marks would always succeed. It was, in a word, overpowered. He made similar adjustments to his retribution skill, converting its damage calculation to rely on HP as well. 800, plus 200% HP, plus 1000, plus 300% HP. Su Yan did the math. With 5450 HP and a 50% damage boost against demons, his judgment skill could deal a maximum of 43,575 damage in one hit. If it crits, the damage doubles ***, nearly 100,000 ***. Who on a beginner's map could possibly withstand that? Plenty for dungeon farming. Su Yan clapped his hands, grinning wickedly. With this setup, attack and magic power were irrelevant. Warriors, mages? Forget it. Just focus on stacking health. The thicker the HP, the higher the damage. More HP also means harder to kill. Staying alive is the ultimate DPS. Wolf King Valley. Su Yan spent over 2 hours making his way to the dungeon entrance. 50-level dungeon, looking for members. Knight and priest ready, for is equal to 1, need DPS. Speedrun team, A-grade combat talent, A-grade fire DPS, aiming for leaderboard times. No scrubs. The entrance was crowded with level 50 players, forming groups and loudly recruiting teammates. The moment Su Yan arrived, all eyes turned to him. His commanding presence made the others instinctively step aside. He walked briskly toward the entrance. Hearing someone mention leaderboard rankings piqued his interest. Completing the Divine Punishment Grounds dungeon rewarded players with basic loot, and additional rewards were given based on completion time. The shorter the time, the better the rewards. Reaching the top 500 came with incredible ranking rewards. But breaking into the rankings was no small feat. Forum stats showed that leaderboard teams had at least S-tier talents, with perfectly optimized roles and teamwork. After Awakening Day, top-tier players would appear worldwide, rushing to claim spots on the leaderboard. This year was no exception. However, this year's powerhouses had just awakened and were still leveling up in the tutorial villages. Hoping to admire the best of the best, Su Yan spoke to the dungeon NPC and checked the leaderboard history. 1 SA place, Team MO1, 5 minutes 35 seconds, SSS tier. 2 ND place, Team Nijibai, 5 minutes 50 seconds, SSS tier. 3 RD place, Team Dugu, 7 minutes 17 seconds, SSS tier. 4 TH place, Team Li Yueching, 8 minutes 36 seconds, SSS tier. 5 TH place, Team Shinxiu, 20 minutes 27 seconds, SS tier. 10 TH place, Team Shui Woyue, 28 minutes 9 seconds, SS tier. Wow, legends are legends. The top 10 are all led by human emperors and war gods, Su Yan sighed in awe. The top 4, led by human emperors, were over 10 minutes faster than 5th place, showcasing the massive gap between SSS tier and SS tier. Looking further down, the top 100 leaderboard had remained unchanged for years, except for the 10th place team, Shui Woyue. The early generation veterans were incredibly strong. From rookies to peak combatants, these players were the backbone in humanity's fight against the demon invasion. Su Yan's expression turned serious, a sense of respect swelling in his chest. One other detail caught his attention. There were no solo clear records on the leaderboard. Or if anyone had soloed, their time was too poor to rank. I wonder if I can make the leaderboard. Let's give it a shot as practice. His eyes sparkled with anticipation. Your level is below the dungeon's recommended level, and your party size is fewer than 5. Are you sure you want to enter Wolf King Valley? Su Yan replied firmly, yes. The players at the entrance noticed Su Yan's level and were stunned. Holy crap, he's only level 1? How did he even get here? Does he think he can clear the dungeon? Get out of here. What could a level 1 possibly clear? Amid the murmurs, Su Yan approached the dungeon NPC and suddenly disappeared in a flash of white light. With a loud clatter, a warrior at the entrance dropped his greatsword, eyes wide in disbelief. No way, he went in? Wolf King Valley. A narrow, dim canyon stretched endlessly into the distance. The cold wind howled, and the eerie cries of wolves echoed in the air. A flash of light revealed Su Yan, dressed flamboyantly, within the dungeon. After adjusting to the environment, he drew his Shura sword and headed straight for combat. The dungeon strategy had long been dissected on the forums, and Su Yan knew it like the back of his hand. But strategies were just guidelines, achieving a top time depended on skill. As he stepped onto the damp grass, the metallic scent of blood filled the air. Su Yan focused intently and moved forward. According to the provided intel, the dungeon contains 60 silver wolf mobs, 6 silver wolf elites, and the final boss, the Silver Wolf King. He looked ahead. Through the misty canyon, several hulking, silver-gray figures loomed faintly in the distance. Too far to engage, but all-seeing God's eye provided information. Silver Wolf. Level, 50. HP, 5,200. Attack, 503. Defense, 463. Magic defense, 582. Speed, 92. Skills, Claw Rend, Bloodlust, Passive. Note, exploit speed differences for an easy kill. Silver Wolf Elite. Level, 51. HP, 5,700. Attack, 551. Defense, 477. Magic defense, 602. Speed, 105. Skills, Charge, Claw Rend, Bloodlust, Passive. Note, watch out for charge. The all-seeing God's eye provided precise, critical insight. Su Yan remained fearless, advancing to pull aggro. With lightning-fast steps, he crossed a stream and approached the wolf pack. A 2-meter-tall silver wolf elite charged viciously at him. Catching it in his peripheral vision, Su Yan dodged instantly. Effortlessly avoiding the attack, he countered with a single punch, drawing its attention. Then he pressed forward. Move, pull aggro, dodge, repeat. In just 4 minutes, Su Yan's precision and control allowed him to kite every wolf and elite in the entire map to a massive boulder. Climbing onto the boulder, he smirked coldly at the snarling wolves piling up below, futilely bashing against the rock wall. For seasoned players, pulling mobs was an art. Kiting every mob on the map while taking no damage? That was peak-tier execution. Su Yan's actions demonstrated this mastery flawlessly. Who isn't an ex-pro player, he chuckled to himself. Solid mechanics and a calm demeanor were the source of his confidence. Without hesitation, he raised the Shura sword and unleashed its SSS tier exclusive skill **Shura/**. With an explosive roar, the canyon lit up as the sword's glow erupted, slicing through the darkness. A streak of blue light tore through the wolf pack as Su Yan's blade blurred in a frenzy of motion. Critical hits popped up in rapid succession. -49,556. -48,969. -49,668. ***. Blood sprayed in all directions, the carnage lasting 10 seconds. Under the boulder, every silver wolf was annihilated. Not a single one remained. That simple? Su Yan casually brushed off his sleeves, not a single drop of blood stained on him, and remarked in a nonchalant, almost self-congratulatory tone. EXP plus 1,100, EXP plus 1,200. In a flash, his experience skyrocketed by over 70,000, and somehow, he even scored an entire truckload of silver wolf meat. Taking out a magnifying glass, he squinted at his experience bar. He was now tantalizingly close to godhood, just one step away. So, what are we waiting for? Time to take down the boss. At the deepest part of the valley, the only spot where sunlight managed to pierce through. In less than a minute, Su Yan sprinted to the location, only to be faced with a massive beast. Its thick fur bristled, and its nostrils flared menacingly. Looking up at the towering figure, Su Yan couldn't help but mutter, I'm 5 feet 11 inches, and I can't even reach its knees. Am I supposed to jump and aim for its kneecaps? Silver Wolf King. Level, 55. HP, 59,500. Attack, 1,460. Defense, 1,155. Magic defense, 1,268. Speed, 120. Skills, Savage Pounce, Ruthless Devour, Ferocious Roar. With a single scan from the Eye of the Gods, the Silver Wolf King's stats were laid bare. Su Yan clicked his tongue in disapproval, the beast's power was truly as advertised. With such high stats, even a top-tier level 50 player would be instantly annihilated if hit by one of its skills. No wonder it was nicknamed the Rookie Reaper, with rumors claiming it had already slain over 1 billion human players. Roar! The Silver Wolf King threw its head back and unleashed a deafening roar. A wave of violent energy swept across the valley, shaking loose chunks of rock. Any other player would have been paralyzed with fear, but Su Yan remained steady as a mountain. Foul human! How dare you trespass into my Wolf King Valley? I will tear you apart. The Silver Wolf King bellowed, its voice dripping with a raspy, bone-chilling malice. To Su Yan, though, this was all just the boss's pre-fight monologue, nothing more than a glorified cutscene. All he was waiting for was the moment the health bar appeared. Pathetic, insignificant insect. So this is what your human race amounts to. All of you deserve to perish. The Silver Wolf King's face twisted with fury. Su Yan yawned and poked a finger in his ear. Can you hurry it up? I've got places to be. The Silver Wolf King froze mid-rant, glaring at him incredulously. After a moment, it snarled, You, human insect. How are you only level 1? Wow, Su Yan retorted, unimpressed. Level discrimination? Really? Ha! Foolish and reckless. A mere level 1, daring to venture here? You've signed your death warrant. Prepare to die, human. As the final word left its mouth, the Silver Wolf King's health bar finally appeared. For ordinary players, this encounter would be nothing short of a nightmare, a grueling boss fight requiring meticulous skill and strategy. Most players were stuck here for ages, unable to progress past this threshold. But Su Yan was no ordinary player. Here we go. The battle commenced. Su Yan raised his hand, summoning judgment. A pillar of golden light, thicker than the beast's waist, shot toward the Silver Wolf King. Judgment's verdict was swift. Within a second, it landed successfully. Roar! The Silver Wolf King howled in agony, its body now shrouded in a sickly green aura. The word weakened hovered above its head. What's happening? I feel so weak. Human! Aren't you a warrior? What have you done to me? The Silver Wolf King's eyes widened, filled with a mix of shock and terror. What was going on? How could a level 1 human instantly cripple the most powerful boss in this instance? Was this even allowed? Did the rules mean nothing anymore? I'm a warrior, sure, but who says I can't dabble in other professions? With a faint smile, Su Yan dismissed the beast's astonished gaze and unleashed another ability, Retribution Star. Boom! A massive sword of light, 20 meters long and 5 meters wide, descended from the heavens, cleaving the Silver Wolf King's head in two. Critical hit. 96, 285, The earth trembled as the beast disintegrated into ashes. One-shot kill. At that moment, a grand, authoritative voice echoed across the skies of the Divine Punishment Realm. Congratulations to player, Demon Slayer, for solo clearing the Wolf King Valley dungeon. Time, 5 minutes and 52 seconds. Final rating, SSS. The announcement sent shockwaves throughout the human player base. Everyone gazed skyward, their expressions ranging from disbelief to awe, before finally igniting with hope and excitement. What the hell? Someone solo cleared a rookie dungeon in under 6 minutes? What kind of monster could pull that off? Speculation ran wild. Demon Slayer had to have awakened an SSS tier talent. A new human emperor had risen to follow in the footsteps of the legendary Dugu. On this day, Demon Slayer emerged as a force to be reckoned with. The Divine Punishment Realm erupted in celebration, and Blue Planet followed suit. Solo clearing. A record-breaking 5 minutes and 52 seconds. An SSS rating. Any one of these achievements would be enough to shake the human race to its core. And yet, he had accomplished all three alone. Who was Demon Slayer? What kind of SSS tier talent had he awakened to obliterate records and single-handedly surpass the team efforts of Dugu and Liu Qing? He had vaulted to third place on the historical leaderboard, outshining all but Mo1 and Yi Jibai. Meanwhile, the world chat of the Divine Punishment Realm had devolved into utter chaos. The screen was flooded with a sea of WTF. 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 It wasn't that players lacked vocabulary, it was simply the most accurate expression of their collective shock. For a solid 30 minutes, the chat was nothing but WTF. Finally, someone snapped out of it and managed to type a coherent message. A trembling level 50 knight spoke up, "Guys, this is huge. 2 hours ago, Demon Slayer asked me for directions. I noticed he was only level 1, and, I might have been a little rude. So, what happens if you piss off an SSS tier talent? Should I go into hiding?" The chat exploded once more. What? Demon Slayer is only level 1? WTF. 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 Another 30 minutes of chaos followed. No way. Level 1 and solo cleared the Wolf King Valley dungeon with a top 3 score? You don't get it. SSS tier talents are just that insane. I used to think Mo1's record was unbeatable, but Demon Slayer is on another level. He soloed his way to a team tier score. Demon Slayer's performance is literally the pinnacle of what humans can achieve. At this point, someone chimed in with a completely irrelevant comment, looking for an in-game girlfriend. Today, the world chat was more lively than ever. But the man of the hour, Su Yan, had already logged off and left the Divine Punishment Realm, entirely unaware of the commotion he'd caused. Elsewhere, news of the SSS-tier talent quickly spread, reaching the ears of the human race's upper echelon. In the capital city of the Hua Nation, within the headquarters of the Demon Extermination Institute, a young man with delicate features stood before the massive screen, his eyes locked on the data. Level 1, solo clear, 5 minutes and 52 seconds, SSS rating. He couldn't believe it. Master Yi Jibai, founder of the Demon Slayer Academy and the #1 human emperor, had once attempted to challenge the beginner dungeon with max level and full buffs. Even then, his best time was 45 minutes, and he hadn't even made the historical leaderboard. Yet the person before him had done it. Was this some kind of bug? Suddenly, the screen flickered, revealing the face of an ancient-looking middle-aged man. At that moment, dark clouds gathered above the Demon Slayer Academy, fierce winds roared, and a suffocating pressure blanketed the imperial capital. The young man struggled to breathe, hurriedly bowing in respect. Uncle M.O., is it true? Did someone solo clear the beginner dungeon as Demon Slayer? The man on the screen closed his eyes slightly and responded coldly, "Don't ask." The young man immediately fell silent. A moment later, the man opened his eyes and shook his head. "I can't see through Demon Slayer's identity." The young man gasped. "Even you can't? Who exactly was Demon Slayer?" The man advised, "An SSS-grade talent that we've waited a century for has finally appeared. The Demon Slayer Academy must not act rashly. Let things unfold naturally. I'm keeping an eye on the divine punishment grounds, nothing will go wrong." "Yes, sir." The screen's image gradually faded. The dark clouds dissipated, the skies cleared, and a blood-red streak of light pointed directly toward the divine punishment grounds. The young man exhaled in relief, his eyes filled with envy. Uncle M.O. has grown even stronger. But a thought lingered in his mind: if Demon Slayer were to fully develop, who would be stronger, him or Uncle M.O.? After all, even Uncle M.O. hadn't made the leaderboard back then. After school, Su Yen turned left and caught a train home. His parents had disappeared 10 years ago, and he had been living under his uncle's care ever since. Half an hour later. "I'm home." He opened the door, yawning as he called out. "You look pretty tired." A teasing voice came from his right. Startled, Su Yen turned around. Leaning casually against the wall was a stunning young woman with flowing long hair, her smile playful as her gaze rested on him. She looked about 18 or 19, with fair skin and unmatched beauty. She wore a slightly revealing white blouse, the neckline slightly undone, showcasing her delicate collarbone. The fitted shirt accentuated her full, curvaceous figure. Her lower half was dressed in denim shorts, and her long, slender legs were wrapped in white stockings so pristine they almost glowed. Swallowing hard, Su Yen stammered in surprise, "Shuejia, you're back? It's break time. Where else would I go?" Xiao Panchua smirked, exuding the aura of an older sister type. As she spoke, the tear mole beneath her left eye became faintly visible. Only now did Su Yen remember it was the first day of summer break for Imperial University. The woman before him, Xiao Panchua, was his uncle's daughter. She had always been an exceptional student, and this year, she was the family's pride. Last year, she had awakened an S-grade combat talent, shocking all of Jiangnan City. Her college entrance exam scores had earned her the top spot in the entire province, securing her a place at Imperial University, China's most prestigious institution. "Follow me." Just as Su Yen was about to speak, a faint fragrance distracted him. Before he could react, Xiao Panchua grabbed him and led him into her room. Bang! The door slammed shut. "Shuejia, what are you doing?" Su Yen froze, his voice trembling. Though they referred to each other as siblings, they weren't related by blood. Being alone like this, with her dressed so provocatively, was this really appropriate? Xiao Panchua locked the door and fixed her gaze on him. "Su Yen, today's your awakening day. What talent did you awaken?" "So that's what this is about." Su Yen's face fell, his earlier excitement fading. He had no intention of revealing his 9 SSS-grade talents. The reason was simple: in the game, he could be flashy; in real life, he had to stay low-key. In the divine punishment grounds, death meant revival. In reality, there was only one life to live. It was wise to keep some cards hidden. Besides, he had another SSS-grade talent, Supreme Authority, GM privileges, which allowed him to encrypt information. Before entering the divine punishment grounds, he had already encrypted his real-world identity. No one could link Su Yen in reality to Demon Slayer in the game unless he allowed it. Feigning a sigh, Su Yen said, "Sigh, I awakened a useless S-grade talent, tenfold absorption." The moment he said it, Xiao Panchua's chest heaved, and she exclaimed, "A useless talent? S-grade? Su Yen, are you sure you're not lying to me?" Su Yen rolled his eyes. "Why would I lie to you? Want some coconut milk?" "Sure." Xiao Panchua actually pulled a bottle of coconut milk from her drawer and tossed it to him. Catching it, Su Yen chuckled bitterly. "Shuejia, I'm serious. Why would I joke about my future?" He punctuated his statement by stabbing the straw into the carton and taking a couple of sips. Xiao Panchua remained skeptical, not noticing a few drops of coconut milk landing on her stockings. Long legs, white stockings, coconut milk. Su Yan's nose started bleeding. Panicking, he bolted out of the room. Su-Yen, where are you going? Don't ask. Just too much heat. He rushed into the bathroom, leaving Xiao Panxue frowning in confusion. Before Su-Yen had returned home, she had been scrolling through headlines out of boredom. She had come across a trending topic about someone with the in-game ID Demon Slayer breaking records, someone who had awakened an SSS-grade talent. At level 1, they had solo cleared a level 50 beginner dungeon, ranking 3rd in history. The news had left her in shock, and she couldn't help but suspect that Demon Slayer might be Su-Yen. That was why she had questioned him earlier. Maybe I overthought it. She shook her head inside. At dinner, Su-Yen's appetite dispelled Xiao Panxue's doubts. He single-handedly devoured all the dishes their housekeeper had prepared for Xiao Panxue and even polished off 10 bowls of rice. What on earth happened to this kid today? Why's he eating like this? His uncle and aunt were utterly stunned. Xiao Panxue rubbed her forehead in exasperation, sitting silently for a long time. Now, she truly believed Su-Yen had only awakened a useless S-grade talent. Tenfold absorption. Is there still hope? Her thoughts swirled, leaving her unsure of what to feel. Despite eating so much, Su-Yen's stomach didn't bulge. On the contrary, he felt full of energy. Looks like tenfold absorption isn't completely useless. He was delighted, wondering if eating like this could actually strengthen his body. After dinner, he took a quick shower. While Xiao Panxue was in the bathroom, Su-Yen sneaked back to his room, locked the door, and moved as though he were a thief. He had been so busy grinding for rewards after school that he still hadn't checked them. The fact that he had waited this long showed incredible patience. It was like receiving a package but refusing to open it until the holidays. That kind of feeling. I think there was a staff in the rewards? Sitting cross-legged on his bed, Su-Yen excitedly used his thoughts to open his divine punishment inventory. The moment of reward. There were 2 rewards in total. The first was for defeating the Silver Wolf King boss. 45,000 experience points, 5,000 gold coins, and the Silver Wolf boots. Since it was a solo kill, the experience and gold were nearly double what a 5-man team would earn. As expected, soloing is the proper way to tackle dungeons. Su-Yen calculated that each run would net him 120,000 experience points. To reach 99.9 billion, he'd need 830,000 runs? Never mind, let's look at the next reward. The 5,000 gold coins were equivalent to 500,000 huabi. Su-Yen felt a wave of satisfaction, another big payoff. Too bad gold coins are only rewarded for the first dungeon clear. Otherwise, at my speed, I'd even outpace the richest people in Huagua. He muttered regretfully, thinking about the billions he wouldn't be earning. The Silver Wolf boots were a top-tier level 50 item. But Su-Yen was still only level 1 and couldn't equip them. He'd have to sell them, which could still bring in a decent sum. The second reward was for leaderboard ranking. This was the main event of the day. Su-Yen eagerly reviewed the rewards one by one. The first thing that caught his eye was a heavy pouch of gold coins. 100,000 gold coins. Holy crap, that's a lot. Seeing the gold coins made Su-Yen's breathing quicken. Even though he didn't care much about money, who doesn't love having more of it? 100,000 gold coins were equivalent to 10 million huabi. Enough to buy a 3-bedroom apartment in the heart of Imperial City. Or 3 luxury villas in Jiangnan City. The books were right. Talent can change your fate. I believe it now. Su-Yen took a deep breath, calming his excitement. After the gold coins came a golden medal. Golden Glory Medal, grants plus 100 to all stats when equipped. Since the Wrath Mage class was permanently locked at level 1 with no stat upgrades through leveling, the gap between Su-Yen and regular players was becoming increasingly noticeable. This medal could bridge that gap. Plus 100 to all stats. This kind of bonus money can't even buy. Based on what he'd read in the textbooks, Su-Yen was confident. Compared to 1,000,000 gold coins or tens of millions in huabi, everyone would choose the plus 100 to all stats. This would allow him to progress further in the land of divine punishment, and potentially break through his power ceiling to access higher-level maps. Su-Yen took out the medal and pinned it to his chest. A golden glow flashed across his chest and then disappeared. A warm, tingling sensation spread through his dantian. He couldn't help but let out a soft moan. Checking his stats again, they now read: Constitution plus 196, Spirit plus 110, Strength plus 110, Intelligence plus 110, Agility plus 140. Not bad, it was finally starting to look respectable. Su-Yen smiled and turned to the final reward. Crimson Dawn, SSS tier Spirit plus 60, Intelligence plus 55, Spell Lifesteal plus 100%. Equipment type, Staff. Level requirement, Level 1. Permanent effect, each hit on an enemy permanently increases max HP by 10. Wow, an SSS tier staff for level 1. In Divine Punishment, gear rarity was ranked from F to SSS tier, and the effects were prioritized as follows. Class-specific skills permanent effects set bonuses additional attributes. This staff's permanent effect was only second to class-specific skills. Its effect was perfect for Su-Yen. It allowed him to infinitely stack his max HP. I get everything I need. My luck stat must be maxed out, Su-Yen said gleefully, feeling the perks of good fortune. Crimson Dawn was exactly what he needed to stack health. As long as he had the patience to grind mobs, his HP bar could reach into the billions. With explosive damage output, he could obliterate anyone in his path. After some time passed, Su-Yen used his SSS tier talent, Element Conversion, to change the spirit and intelligence stats on the staff into Constitution. Crimson Dawn, SSS tier Constitution plus 60, Constitution plus 55, Spell Lifesteal plus 100%. His Constitution stat now reached 311, and his HP hit 9,665. This meant that the Wrath Mage's unique judgment skills could now deal over 70,000 damage to demonkind with ease. This will do for now. Tomorrow, I'll grind dungeons to stack more HP. Su-Yen flopped onto his bed, resting his head on his hands, body completely relaxed. If third place rewards are this good, first place must be insanely tempting. He couldn't help but salivate at the thought. Today was just practice, his performance wasn't ideal and far from his full potential. Before grinding dungeons tomorrow, he planned to visit the auction house to see if he could snag some good gear. His damage was sufficient for now, but reducing clear times would require speed. If he could find a mobility skill or a speed boosting set, it'd save him a lot of trouble. The next morning, Su-Yen arrived at school early. He thought he was early, but his classmates were even earlier. The classroom was buzzing with excitement. Perhaps it was their first time experiencing divine punishment, and everyone was ecstatic. Some were bragging about leveling up, others were discussing how Demon Slayer had suddenly become all the rage. Checking his phone on the way, Su-Yen realized Demon Slayer was trending everywhere. Headlines, hot topics, D-Station, and even friend circles were flooded with Demon Slayer news. Su-Yen, what class did you pick? What level are you now? At the back row, his deskmate Tang Xia woke up from her nap. Her ponytail rested on her shoulder, and as she stretched lazily, a sliver of her pale stomach peeked out. Su-Yen placed his backpack on the desk. You first. Tang Xia pouted. Of course, it's Archer. But with my B-tier fire affinity, I only got to level 5. That's not bad. Level 5 in just 2 hours? That's pretty solid. Su-Yen teased. Tang Xia crossed her arms and huffed. Oof. If I had a good team, I could have hit level 7. Alright, I believe you. Su-Yen replied casually, pulling out his textbook to study auction house strategies. Suddenly, a commotion erupted at the classroom entrance. A boy entered, surrounded by a group of admirers. Short, only 5 feet 5 inches, with an ordinary appearance. But he carried himself with undeniable confidence, his face exuding pride and self-assurance. Look, it's Jiang Hao from Class 5. What's he doing here in Class 3? I heard Jiang Hao awakened an A-rank fire ability. He was on Jiangnan News last night. Featured alongside the Demon Slayer big shots, what a flex. Rumor has it the highest awakened talent in our school this year is only an A-rank Earth ability. Jiang Hao's probably a shoo-in for the top scorer in the college entrance exams. The students whispered among themselves, their gazes filled with envy and jealousy. Jiang Hao smirked slightly, enjoying the attention. Hands in his pockets, he strode directly to the back of the room. Excuse me, please. He stopped in front of Su-Yen's desk and looked down arrogantly. Su-Yen was studying an auction catalog and didn't even glance up. Can't move. I'm busy. Say what you need to say right here. You. Jiang Hao frowned but decided it wasn't worth arguing with someone beneath him. Ignoring Su-Yen, he turned to Tang Xia with a smile. Tang Xia, got a moment to talk? Tang Xia, lying on her desk, continued sleeping. Her ponytail draped lazily over Su-Yen's arm. Awakened by the commotion, she glanced up half-heartedly and responded languidly, no time. Jiang Hao felt helpless, these two were a real pain. One wouldn't move, and the other claimed to be too busy. As he caught sight of Tang Xia's striking figure, an unwilling glint flashed in his eyes. He decided to cut to the chase. I've formed a fire element assault team and want you to be the vice captain. If you agree, Tang Xia. Jiang Hao hesitated briefly but then steeled himself. I'll even throw in a link crystal. The class buzzed with shock. No way. Jiang Hao's giving away a link crystal? That's crazy rich, those things cost a fortune these days. Well, his dad is the richest man in Jiangnan. Makes sense. Su-Yen was stunned. He hadn't expected Jiang Hao to be so extravagant just to recruit Tang Xia. The link crystal was the only pass to enter the divine punishment realm, and its price was astronomical. A single link crystal typically cost around 1 billion huabi, but even then, they were incredibly scarce. Without backing from a powerful faction, getting one was nearly impossible. With a link crystal, the advantages were clear. After school, you could continue leveling up in the divine punishment realm, like attending a private tutoring session. Success was all about effort and who could outpace their classmates. Jiang Hao, exuding confidence, said, Tang Xia, don't you want to score well on the college entrance exams? With a link crystal and your talent, a little effort could land you in a top-tier university. Everyone assumed Tang Xia would agree immediately. To their surprise, she replied impatiently, I said I don't have time. Don't you understand? Jiang Hao froze, his face turning pale with anger. Do you even realize what you're turning down? We're both fire element users. Teaming up will make leveling up so much faster. This is your future. I'm doing this for your own good. Think it over. Come find me when you've made up your mind. With that, Jiang Hao shot a glare at Su Yan before storming off. After Jiang Hao left, Tang Xia yawned and casually went back to lying on her desk, resuming her nap as if nothing had happened. Her chest pressed against the desk, nearly spilling out from under her uniform. Su Yan, slightly flustered, averted his gaze and said, I didn't expect you to have such principles, Tang Xia. You were just complaining about bad teams earlier. Now a great opportunity lands in your lap, and you just throw it away? Tang Xia buried her face in her arms and mumbled, who cares about that stuff? Without a link crystal, my dad can still get me into a good school. Su Yan didn't say much, just chuckled softly. In this world, the college entrance exams weren't just about academics. Divine punishment strength played a crucial role. To even qualify for college, you needed to reach at least level 40 in the divine punishment realm and pass the basic trials. While the basic trials weren't too difficult, 99% of students with less than C-rank talents would fail. To get into a top-tier university, you needed to hit level 50 and pass much harder exams. Over the past 200 years, only 5 students with B-rank talents had ever made it into a top-tier university, and all of them came from wealthy families. Tang Xia's family wasn't well off, and Su Yan knew this all too well. Awakening a talent and scoring well on the exams was their only way to change their fate. As these thoughts ran through his mind, Su Yan glanced at Tang Xia, who was now breathing steadily, her messy bangs falling across her face. She wasn't particularly beautiful, just average among the girls he knew. Compared to someone like his sister, Xiao Panxue, who had movie star looks, Tang Xia didn't even come close. Her figure wasn't much to write home about either. But to Su Yan, Tang Xia had a unique charm. For example, even with class about to start, she could still fall asleep so easily. And she didn't care about appearances at all. From Su Yan's angle, he could see plenty of details if he wanted to. No choice. I'll buy her a bottle of milk after school to make up for it. Su Yan sighed inwardly. About 10 minutes later, the bell rang for class. The link crystal on the top left corner of Su Yan's desk glowed faintly, signaling the start of the day's divine punishment tasks. Eagerly, Su Yan reached out to log into the divine punishment realm. But just then, the homeroom teacher, Mr. Wang, walked into the classroom and clapped his hands. Hold on. I have an announcement. Standing at the podium, Mr. Wang spoke earnestly, you've all awakened your talents. From now on, the next 2 months depend entirely on your own efforts. Apply what you've learned to the divine punishment realm. Improve your strength. Work hard to excel in the exams. His words struck a chord, and the students listened attentively. Mr. Wang continued, I'm sure you've all heard of the Demon Slayer, right? The newly awakened SSS rank talent, the greatest genius humanity's seen in a century. The appearance of the Demon Slayer is a sign of hope for humanity's revival. The school administration held an emergency meeting last night and decided to celebrate this milestone by giving you all a reward. The class buzzed with excitement, with students eagerly asking, what kind of reward? In a few days, the principal is inviting top-tier talents from Imperial City's elite schools to give us guidance and lessons. There will also be a special divine punishment combat drill funded by the school. Mr. Wang smiled warmly. This is an incredible opportunity. Having guidance from top talents is worth half a lifetime of effort. Treasure it, and don't let the school's hard work go to waste. After finishing his announcement, he looked toward the back of the room. Tang Xia, step outside. Su Yan nudged Tang Xia awake. She quickly adjusted her wrinkled uniform and messy hair, then followed Mr. Wang out of the classroom under her classmates' envious gazes. In a quiet corner of the hallway, Mr. Wang stopped and turned to face Tang Xia, who looked a bit nervous. His tone was gentle as he said, Tang Xia, starting tomorrow, you'll no longer be a student in class 3. Tang Xia froze, her ponytail and skirt swaying slightly with the breeze. Hearing this, she instantly perked up, surprised, and asked, Professor Wang, did I do something wrong? Why are you expelling me? Professor Wang chuckled, you're overthinking it. It's not expulsion, we're transferring you to the rocket class. The rocket class? Professor Wang explained, this year, the school has created the rocket class to focus resources on nurturing students with B-level or higher talents. Your fire talent is B-level, ranking 3rd in the school, so you've been selected. Tang Xia's face lit up with pride but then clouded with confusion. She asked, what about Su Yan? Is he joining too? Su Yan? Professor Wang frowned. He can't join. Tang Xia's expression shifted. But he has S-level talent and is ranked 1st in the school. Why not? Professor Wang sighed, haven't you understood? S-level talent is useless. Putting him in the rocket class would just waste the school's resources. Wasting resources? Then I won't go either. Tang Xia firmly refused, her tone resolute. Professor Wang was taken aback. What are you saying? This could affect your future. Think carefully. I've already thought it through. Tang Xia bit her lip and said, if even S-level talent isn't accepted, then I don't deserve to go either. Tang Xia. Professor Wang trailed off, unable to continue. Professor, I'll head back to class now. With that, she bowed to Professor Wang and turned to leave. This child, why is she like this? Professor Wang muttered, furrowing his brow. When Tang Xia returned to her seat, Su Yan was browsing the auction house. He casually asked, you're back? What did old Wang want with you? Tang Xia fiddled with her bangs absent-mindedly. Oh, nothing much. He just told me to work hard and bring glory to class 3. She lied to you. Can you guess what it is? Su Yan paused, perplexed by the prompt. He stared at Tang Xia and asked, Xia, are you hiding something? Don't be ridiculous. I'm an open book. How could I possibly have secrets? Tang Xia's face betrayed her unease as she huffed in mock indignation. Here's the answer. Just a minute ago, she rejected the rocket class. Aren't you touched? Because of me? Su Yan's eyes widened, his gaze suddenly complicated. Xia. Yeah? Su Yan recalled Zhang Hao and said, you turned him down today, but he won't give up easily. If he bothers you again, just use my name to scare him off. Ha! What name do you think you even have? Tang Xia burst into laughter. How about Demon Slayer? Sounds impressive, right? You're the Demon Slayer. Tang Xia laughed before turning serious. Su Yan, really, don't worry about this. I don't want to drag you into it. If Zhang Hao targets you, it'll only make things worse. You might not even get into college. Su Yan smiled calmly. It's not that serious. College? That's a small matter. I could get in with my eyes closed. Humph, I hope you're right. At that moment, the group prepared to enter the Divine Punishment Zone for their next challenge. As they approached the activation crystal, Tang Xia asked, Su Yan, are you sure you don't need me to carry you for leveling? Su Yan grinned and countered, Xia, do you like me or something? Why are you always trying to help me? Don't be ridiculous. Of course not. I just don't want you failing to get into college, that's all. Tang Xia's face flushed red, the blush creeping down her neck as her brows twitched nervously. Seeing her reaction, Su Yan smirked and glanced at her snow-white thighs, then teasingly suggested, how about this, since it's just a friendly gesture, you touch my thigh, and I'll carry you for leveling. Su Yan, get lost. Tang Xia snapped at him. In the end, Su Yan relied on his own strength to solo the challenges, leaving Tang Xia behind. Alone, he stepped into the Divine Punishment Zone. Traveler, are you ready to cross the Stargate and enter the Divine Punishment Zone? The gentle voice of the Dawn Goddess echoed from the login interface. But Su Yan didn't rush to enter. Instead, he looked up at the sky. There, the Dawn Goddess stood bathed in divine light, wearing a flowing white gown that clung to her figure, her curves tantalizing and distinct. Her face was noble and stunningly beautiful, exuding an aura of sacred inviolability. Her silver white hair cascaded like a waterfall, each strand shimmering as it floated in the air. Her entire presence radiated an overwhelming sense of being utterly unattainable. At that moment, a bold thought surfaced in Su Yan's mind. He possessed the SSS-level talent, Divine Shackles, which allowed him to forcibly bind a god or their avatar into a contract. The Dawn Goddess was a god. Why not give it a try? From the moment the Divine Punishment Zone opened, the Dawn Goddess had served as a welcoming hostess. With her otherworldly beauty in a gown so revealing it was practically non-existent, she had become the dream of countless male players. Seeing this right at the start, who would still have the focus to grind levels? No wonder humanity is doing worse and worse, Su Yan muttered, averting his gaze. Still, for the sake of humanity's future, he resolved to take the risk. He shouted loudly, Dawn Goddess, I have a question. The Dawn Goddess smiled serenely. Traveler, please ask. Are you really a god? Of course. I am a mid-tier god with a level 12 divine rank, ruling over dawn and hope. That's impressive. Do you have any family or friends? Though the question was strange, the Dawn Goddess remained composed and answered, gods govern their own realms independently. We don't have family or friends. Su Yan exhaled in relief. So, if something happened to you, no one would come seeking revenge? Question mark. The Dawn Goddess hesitated, her expression slightly puzzled, but she still patiently replied, gods are omnipotent. Nothing can happen to us. Got it. Just curious, Su Yan said with a nod, a glint of mischief flashing in his eyes. Buzz. He extended his palm, and a shimmering, crisscrossing light of chains appeared. The SSS-level ability Divine Shackles activated. Although he wasn't sure if it would work, how could he know without trying? He thrust his palm forward and shouted, Shackles. Boom! 2 blood-red chains shot out from his hand, glowing with runes, and hurtled toward the Dawn Goddess. Traveler, what are you doing? The Dawn Goddess exclaimed, her serene demeanor breaking for the first time. Suddenly, the laws of creation descended, suppressing everything in the vicinity. In the sky, a massive sacred phantom appeared behind the Dawn Goddess. The radiant figure exuded divine power, but it was constrained by the rules in place. The chains turned into beams of red light, binding the phantom's wrists and slowly pulling upward. The phantom struggled and trembled before finally going still. Shackling complete. The system notification rang out. Moments later, the phantom dissipated, and the Dawn Goddess gently descended, her divine radiance retreating into her body. "Command me, Dawn Goddess, my master," she said, stepping before Su Yan with her hands crossed over her chest. She bowed slightly, her tone reverent. Su Yan's excitement soared to new heights. Holy crap, it actually worked. Divine shackles, this is insane. From now on, young humans can level up freely without being distracted by the Dawn Goddess's beauty. This kind of pain, let Su Yan bear it alone. I'm truly a selfless hero. Just as he was about to give the order, an ethereal system notification suddenly sounded above his head. "Dear traveler, due to an anomaly in the login interface, please exit the land of divine punishment immediately. Emergency maintenance will begin in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As the countdown reached the final second, Su Yan's vision went black, and the scene around him rapidly shifted. Shura City, entrance to the land of divine punishment, a supply hub for travelers. With the system in emergency maintenance, all human travelers were forcefully teleported here. Su Yan was no exception. What the hell, even the land of divine punishment needs maintenance? The last maintenance was 100 years ago. Why the sudden update now? Who cares when? I was just about to kill the two-headed snake boss. Where's my compensation? We demand compensation. 300 gold coins aren't enough, 500 coins sound fair, and 1,000 coins would make me forget this ever happened. The bustling Shura City was packed with people, the noise resembling a subway at rush hour. As the culprit, Su Yan blended into the crowd, feeling a bit uneasy. How could he have known that putting shackles on the Dawn Goddess would trigger emergency maintenance? Will I get caught? His confidence wavered, but he reassured himself that, with his supreme-level authority, he should be fine. After all, he merely played by the rules, he didn't do anything wrong. Opening his palm slightly, he saw a white shackle imprint on it, which immediately calmed him down. This meant he had formed a contract with the Dawn Goddess and could sense her presence at any time. Right now, the Dawn Goddess was sealed within this imprint, ready to be summoned whenever he wished. The thought of it made his heart race with excitement. Suddenly, a shout erupted from the crowd, "Holy crap, it's Demon Slayer!" The crowd's reaction was like a stone dropped into a still pond, causing ripples of chaos. Someone followed up, yelling, "Guys, Demon Slayer is really here in the Shura City Leisure Zone. Didn't he say yesterday he was going solo in a level 50 dungeon? Why is he still level 1? You don't get it. Demon Slayer is a hidden class, slow leveling is normal. I'm crying, this is the first time I've been so close to an SSS tier talent. Mom, I've made it." The entire Shura City was in an uproar over Demon Slayer's appearance, and countless players swarmed toward him like a tidal wave. Su Yan, holding his blood-red dawn staff, stood tall in the center of the crowd, his slim figure resembling a superstar at a concert. This feeling of being worshipped by thousands was entirely new to him, but instead of getting carried away, he remained calm, smiling as he waved. "Hello, everyone, I'm Demon Slayer." The crowd erupted into cheers, mixed with fanatical shouts like "Demon Slayer, I love you," and "Demon Slayer, have my babies." As the crowd grew larger, Demon Slayer suddenly vanished. He had to rush to the auction house. Moments earlier, Su Yan had discreetly used the Dawn Goddess's divine power to cloak himself, slipping away unnoticed beneath the players' watchful eyes. To avoid further commotion, he temporarily hid his ID. Now, apart from being good-looking, he seemed no different from a level 1 newbie mage. Shura City served as the central hub for players, featuring an auction house, team-up zone, leisure zone, bounty area, and the Legion Hall. Su Yan set his sights on the auction house and headed in that direction. Upon arrival, he noticed the usually bustling auction hall was surprisingly quiet, with barely a dozen people inside. Most players had gone to catch a glimpse of Demon Slayer. Su Yan chuckled to himself. This move is called bait and switch. Feeling pleased, he stepped into the auction house. The grand hall was lavishly decorated, with gleaming floors that reflected the intricate gold and silver patterns. He approached an unoccupied trading counter. "Hello, I'd like to purchase some equipment," he said. The female clerk responded sweetly, "Of course, please hold on." Just as Su Yan was about to compliment the excellent service, the clerk added, "I'm sorry, sir, but your level is too low to make a transaction." "Too low? What do you mean?" Su Yan's face darkened. "Aren't we all humans? What's with the level discrimination?" The clerk avoided elaborating and instead suggested, "If you're level 1 and looking for equipment, I recommend heading right outside the auction house. There are player-run stalls with better deals." Su Yan frowned. "I came here personally to buy. What does value for money have to do with this? Just tell me, can you sell me something or not?" The clerk hesitated, clearly uncomfortable, and explained, "This is a high-end trading venue. Most items here start at 1,000 gold coins or more, so 1,000 gold coins equaled 100,000 in real-world currency, not exactly a small amount." Though her tone was polite, Su Yan understood she was implying he couldn't afford it. Bang! He slammed a bag of coins onto the counter and said coolly, "This is 10,000 gold coins. Is that enough? If not, I can add more." 10,000? The clerk was stunned. Hurriedly, she ran to the corner, speaking quietly into a holographic interface. Not long after, a man in a tailored suit with slicked back hair, the manager, rushed over. The clerk trailed behind him, head lowered. The manager glanced at Su Yan, noticed his hidden ID, and immediately realized he wasn't someone to mess with. He quickly apologized. "Our new hire, Miss Shou, wasn't aware of the proper protocol. Please forgive her for any offense." Then he turned to scold the clerk. "What are you standing around for? Apologize to the esteemed customer." The clerk repeatedly bowed, looking like a child caught misbehaving, barely daring to breathe. The commotion drew the attention of other players in the hall. All eyes turned toward them. Everyone was stunned, their jaws practically hitting the floor, as if they were witnessing the most absurd thing ever. No way, did the auction house manager just bow to a level 1 player, apologizing alongside the clerk? What's going on? Who is that level 1 player? He looks so badass. Obviously, anyone holding 10,000 gold coins would look badass. Wait, what? 10,000 gold coins? At level 1? The players were dumbfounded. They'd seen their fair share of wealthy players, but a level 1 walking around with that kind of money? That was a first. Envy, jealousy, and resentment filled the air. Meanwhile, Su Yan was just as taken aback by this over-the-top display. Reality was harsher than expected. With a slight frown, he asked, "I'm in a hurry. Can I buy something now?" "Of course, please follow me to the office," the manager said with a deferential smile. Su Yan didn't refuse, nodding as he followed. Inside the office, Su Yan was seated on a luxurious sofa, sipping premium tea and enjoying VIP treatment. The manager sat across from him, politely asking, "What kind of gear are you looking to buy, sir?" Su Yan took a sip, set the cup down, and said calmly, "SSS tier gear usable at level 1. Got anything to recommend?" The manager froze for a moment before replying. "Sir, you must be joking. SSS tier divine equipment is so rare among the human race that you can count them on one hand. They're priceless treasures, there's no way anyone would put them up for sale. And as for level 1 SSS tier equipment? I've never even heard of such a thing. Nothing for sale?" Su Yan frowned, a little disappointed. He had no choice but to settle for less. "Alright, then how about SS tier?" The manager's expression turned complicated as he cautiously explained. "Sir, even though you clearly have the money, buying SS tier equipment at level 1 isn't necessary. SS tier gear is astronomically expensive, and for level 1, it's even pricier. Plus, you'd outgrow it quickly, it wouldn't even count as transitional gear." Su Yan cut him off. "I'm buying, you're selling. Just make the recommendations." "Got it." The manager was sharp. He'd said what he needed to, but he wasn't about to miss out on a lucrative sale. Before long, the coffee table was covered with a variety of level 1 SS tier gear. The manager smiled apologetically. "We don't have any SSS tier divine gear in the auction house, but we do have a selection of SS tier items for level 1. These were all handcrafted by master blacksmiths, absolute top tier. Very popular items, guaranteed quality. From the staff you're holding, I'd guess you're a distinguished mage. These pieces would suit you perfectly." Su Yan interrupted. "No need. I'll pick for myself." "Of course, sir, take your time. I'll go prepare more tea." As the manager walked off, Su Yan carefully examined the equipment. Upon closer inspection, he noticed that while some pieces were polished to a shine, others had visible layers of dust. Seriously? They're calling these hot-ticket items? These are just the leftovers that have been gathering dust. Su Yan sighed, unimpressed. Level 1 SS tier gear was too expensive for regular players, and unnecessary for the wealthy. Who would spend millions on gear that would become obsolete in 10 minutes? At best, it might be bought by someone trying to flaunt their wealth. But for Su Yan, the legendary wrathful mage, he had to buy it not because he needed it, but because no one else would. Bargaining, however, was a different story. In the end, Su Yan selected a warrior's helmet and a pair of mage boots. Helm of Hope, SS tier, plus 20 stamina, plus 15 strength, level 1 gear. Set bonus Windrunner, 5-piece set plus 200 agility, plus 200% movement speed out of combat for 10 seconds. Wind Spirit boots, SS tier, plus 18 intelligence, plus 21 agility, level 1 gear. Same set bonus as above. Additionally, there were 3 unidentified pieces, a pair of gauntlets, a chestplate, and leggings. Though their attributes weren't displayed, Su Yan's talent, Eyes of the Gods, had already revealed their properties. The manager returned with tea and saw the items Su Yan had selected. He couldn't help but compliment him. "Excellent choices, sir. The Windrunner set is one of our best sellers and perfect for traveling. But, as a mage, are you sure you want gear for other classes?" Su Yan replied indifferently. "Buying is my business. Selling is yours. Don't ask unnecessary questions." Of course. How much in total?" Su Yan asked. The manager answered. To celebrate the release of the Demon Slayer event, we're running a promotion 20% off everything, with bigger discounts for larger purchases. Hearing this, Su Yan's eyes flickered. Another store cashing in on the Demon Slayer event? Well, that's nice. Thanks. The manager smiled broadly. Don't thank us, thank the Demon Slayer. Thank the Demon Slayer? Should I thank myself? Su Yan kept his expression neutral. Just tell me the total price. These 2 Windrunner pieces are 150,000 gold each after the discount. The 3 unidentified pieces are 80,000 each, also discounted. That brings your total to 540,000 gold, but I'll round it down for you. How about 500,000? Goodbye. Su Yan's expression darkened as he immediately stood up to leave. 500,000 gold? That's 15 million in Earth currency. Are they trying to rob me? The manager panicked as Su Yan strode toward the door. He hurried after him. Wait. How about you name your price? Su Yan glanced back disdainfully. This dusty pile of antiques? 5,000 gold per piece, tops. While SS-tier gear was rare, level 1 gear was practically useless. Su Yan was confident no one else would buy it. If no one else wanted it, it might as well be scrap metal. 5,000 gold. Take it or leave it. For Su Yan, this set wasn't a necessity. He didn't need it and wasn't about to overpay. He'd only looked at it because he happened to notice it. After all, assembling a full 5-piece set wasn't exactly easy. At the office door, the manager froze. 5,000 gold for items priced at tens of thousands each? Who could even say that with a straight face? These items have been sitting here for years. 2 of them are older than I am. The manager sighed, clearly conflicted. After hesitating, he said, I'll contact the seller and see what they say. Su Yan nodded. You've got 5 minutes, max. Understood. A short while later, the manager returned, looking troubled. The seller says 5,000 gold is too low. Could you go a bit higher? Forget it. I'm not raising my offer. Not in this lifetime. I'm done with this deal, you can keep the gear. Su Yan turned and walked away without hesitation. Before he could get far, the manager chased after him again. The seller agreed. They're also throwing in 3 appraisal scrolls for free. Appraisal scrolls? That'll save me the appraisal fees. Su Yan paused and turned back. Alright, deal. Appraisal scrolls for level 100 gear cost at least 10,000 gold each. 3 scrolls meant saving 30,000 gold. Back in the office, the manager finalized the transaction, and Su Yan handed over 25,000 gold. After confirming the payment, the manager smiled and offered the scrolls. Would you like to appraise the items now? Su Yan nodded. The manager expertly used the scrolls. On the first item, his face froze in shock. Nightfall Gauntlets, SS tier, plus 21 strength, plus 12 intelligence, level 1 gear. Set bonus Windrunner, 5-piece set. The second item. Nightfall Chestplate, SS tier, plus 18 constitution, plus 15 willpower, level 1 gear. Set bonus Windrunner. The manager swallowed hard. Every piece was part of the same set. He glanced at Su Yan, as if wanting to say something, but stopped himself. The third item. Nightfall Leggings, SS tier, plus 12 strength, plus 16 agility, level 1 gear. Set bonus Windrunner. The manager was utterly stunned. Every piece was part of the same set. Su Yan stood and smirked. Well, looks like my luck's not bad. The set's complete. Thanks, manager. He quickly grabbed the equipment and left without looking back. The manager remained in the office, caught between shock and regret. Set gear with bonus attributes was exponentially more valuable. If sold as a complete set, the price could be tens or even hundreds of times higher. The auction house had just lost a fortune. But what truly puzzled the manager was how Su Yan had known the attributes of the unidentified items. All 3 pieces are from the same set, how is that even possible? It must be a talent, right? The male manager's face shifted, his eyes filled with envy. To his knowledge, seeing hidden attributes on equipment required at least an S-rank talent. Incredible, this guy was one of humanity's next top-tier experts. Su Yan equipped 5 pieces of the Windstrider set, instantly doubling his movement speed. Like a ghost, he slipped out of the auction house and headed straight for the Shura City Plaza. Just now, a divine punishment announcement echoed across the skies, the maintenance was complete. Not wanting to waste any time, he was ready to grind dungeons like crazy. Leveling up while stacking health, all while aiming for the historical leaderboard. Wait a second. To his surprise, the male manager suddenly chased after him. Su Yan raised an eyebrow, puzzled. What's up? The manager extended a golden card with both hands, his eyes brimming with respect. You're one of our auction house's most esteemed clients. This is your auction house access pass, please, you must take it. Auction house access pass? What's that supposed to mean? The manager explained. It symbolizes your prestigious status and immense strength. This pass is not for sale, it can only be gifted by us. With it, you'll enjoy a permanent 20% discount on all purchases and the ability to trade remotely anytime. You can also contact me directly for assistance. My name is Wang Defa, but you can call me IFA. Hearing this, Su Yan realized the pass was extremely valuable. More importantly, it couldn't be bought, it was priceless. So, how did I become an esteemed client? Because you have an S-rank talent. According to our boss's policy, anyone with an S-rank or higher talent is automatically considered prestigious. A misunderstanding, then. Su Yan muttered inwardly, what a terrible judge of character. Well, I'll take it. Pass my thanks to your boss. Su Yan accepted the pass without hesitation, it would make future transactions much more convenient. He then made his way to the Shura City Plaza and used the teleportation portal to return to the starting zone. Before long. Hey, traveler. Welcome to the land of divine punishment. As soon as he logged in, a coarse, gruff voice boomed above his head. The sudden sound startled Su Yan so much that his heart nearly stopped. Looking up, the spot where the Dawn Goddess once stood was now occupied by a hulking man with a bushy beard, gripping a massive axe. With a cold expression, the man said, I'm Gorad. I'm not too thrilled about serving you. Su Yan was speechless. Asterisk, did the Dawn Goddess get replaced because I defeated her? And this is the system's stand-in, asterisk. This is way too half-baked. Maintenance? What maintenance? Nothing got fixed. Whoosh. After venting his frustration, Su Yan appeared at the entrance of the Wolf King's Valley dungeon. The area was bustling with players forming teams and shouting for party members, as lively as ever. The world chat was in chaos, with everyone discussing how the Dawn Goddess had been swapped out for Gorad. What the heck? The goddess is gone without any explanation? I almost had a heart attack, I thought I got blocked. Phew, everyone's in the same boat. That's a relief. Bring back my goddess. What's the point of living without her? Cut it out, my dad's a funeral director. Need his contact info for services? Ancient Summer, looking for an online girlfriend. Su Yan glanced briefly at the chat before turning his attention to the dungeon NPC. He opened the historical leaderboard. Third place, Demon Slayer, solo, 5 minutes 52 seconds, SSS rank rating. He was already third, just 2 seconds behind second place and 17 seconds away from first. Notice, SSS rank talent, Descendant of the Divine, has activated daily blessings. You've received 20 Dragon Phoenix blood. A new day, a new blessing. Seeing the Dragon Phoenix blood, Su Yan remained unfazed. Time was tight. His figure blurred into white light as he charged into the Wolf King's Valley. This time, he was fully prepared, his goal crystal clear. Shaving down his completion time and claiming the top reward. The battle began. Whoosh! In the dim canyon, the Demon Slayer dashed 30 meters ahead in a flash. This was Su Yan's newly purchased mobility skill, Radiant Blink, bought with the auction house access pass. A universal favorite across all classes, it cost 2,000 gold coins per use. Thud, thud, thud. After teleporting, Su Yan gripped his staff and charged forward to engage a pack of silver wolves. At that moment, his boldness made it hard to tell if he was a warrior or a mage. From 15 meters away, he cast a fireball spell toward the lead silver wolf, instantly engulfing it in flames. Boom, the explosion echoed. Fireball was the most basic skill of fire mages. As a wrathful mage proficient in all elements, Su Yan naturally mastered it. It was a steal at 10 gold coins from the auction house. The moment the fireball hit, even it seemed surprised by its own power. Minus 22,821. A bright red damage number flashed. The silver wolf, with only 5,000 HP, was instantly obliterated. His equipment had pushed Demon Slayer's base damage into terrifying territory. More importantly, Su Yan had used his talent, Elemental Conversion, to enhance both his equipment and skills. Faster. I need to be even faster, Su Yan murmured. After the fireball spell annihilated the silver wolf, the Windstrider set's out of combat speed boost activated. His speed doubled again for 10 seconds. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Demon Slayer advanced rapidly, leaving behind a trail of afterimages, as if his soul was chasing him. Fireball went on cooldown, not that it mattered. Su Yan still had Ice Arrow, Lightning Strike, Earthburst, and Tempest. All beginner-level skills that he wielded as if they were ultimate moves. The cycle of combat and movement repeated. Su Yan's speed was so electrifying that the afterimages struggled to keep up. As one skill ended, Radiant Blink was immediately activated. After the teleport, Fireball was ready again. Su Yan felt an exhilarating sense of flow. For him, the biggest challenge of solo dungeon runs was pulling mobs. In a 5-person team, it wasn't hard to coordinate mob pulling. But with his skill set, he was confident he could match a full team's efficiency. Flashes of fire lit his path. In just over 3 minutes, Su Yan reached the Wolf King boss. Got this, he muttered. His eyes gleamed with determination, his mood completely at ease. No matter how much the Wolf King postured, once the boss bar appeared, Su Yan's staff was already in motion. Judgment and Retribution were cast simultaneously. Boom! Before Judgment could even take effect, Retribution's damage had already shattered the Wolf King's massive frame. Human scum! This is impossible. The Wolf King let out a shocked roar. The earth quaked. The Wolf King was instantly slain. At the same time, a worldwide announcement rang out. Here's the content processed into English, maintaining the original paragraph structure, line breaks, and overall layout as requested. Congratulations to player, Demon Slayer, for solo clearing the Wolf King Valley dungeon. Completion time, 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Clear rating, SSS. As soon as the announcement was made, the land of divine punishment erupted into chaos. All human players were left dumbstruck, staring blankly for a long moment. Then, they exploded with joy, sheer excitement, and collective pride. Woohoo! Demon Slayer has solo cleared Wolf King Valley again. And with an even faster time than before, just 3 minutes and 59 seconds. How does Demon Slayer even do it? No one knows. But one thing is clear to everyone. The era of Demon Slayer has begun. With this clear, Demon Slayer officially dethrones the human Emperor Mo Win's team, ending their 198-year reign and taking the top spot in history. Not only that, but he's also pushed the dungeon record into the 3-minute era. As the news spread, top players from the Demon Slayer Academy, Shura City, the Red Pavilion, the Frontline Divine Strategy Army Command, and even other nations in the Human Alliance turned their attention to Wolf King Valley. Yet, in the end, no matter how hard they looked, they saw nothing. Demon Slayer was nowhere to be found, formless, invisible. Inside the dungeon at that very moment, Su Yan, who had just shattered the record, paid no mind to the uproar outside. All he cared about was the ranking rewards. What treasures will I get this time? Su Yan quickly checked his rewards. The basic rewards were ordinary, experience points, a cart of silver wolf meat, and 2 level 50 grade pieces of equipment. But he couldn't wait to see the top ranking reward. 300,000 gold coins, all attributes plus 200, and Flame Forbidden Curse LV1. The rewards were incredibly generous. A Forbidden Curse skill? Su Yan was visibly surprised. Forbidden curses were exclusive to the hidden class Forbidden Spellcaster, and their power rivaled even SSS level skills. Flame Forbidden Curse LV1 unleashes a fire explosion within a 100-meter radius, dealing 200, plus 270% spell power, magic damage to all enemies. Additionally, it inflicts the Heartfire Burn effect on non-fire elemental enemies. Heartfire Burn marks enemies as being in a weakened fire state, increasing fire damage taken by 50% for 2 hours. Cooldown, 100 seconds. Mana cost, 1000. What the heck, 2 hours? Seeing the duration of Heartfire Burn, Su Yan nearly lost it. This Flame Forbidden Curse was downright broken. Not only did its AoE damage rival the Shura Slash, but it also left surviving enemies in a weakened state for 2 hours. Isn't that just cheating? Perfect. I love it. Without hesitation, Su Yan learned the Flame Forbidden Curse. With flame in its name, it was practically destined to be his signature Forbidden Curse. Now that he had mastered it, he had another ace up his sleeve. No wonder the human emperor in history rose like a rocket. Clearing a dungeon gets you SSS level gear and skills. I can do it too. He joked aloud, feeling immensely satisfied, before dusting himself off and exiting the dungeon. Outside the dungeon, the moment Demon Slayer stepped out, the crowd erupted. Look! Demon Slayer is out! Demon Slayer! Demon Slayer! Demon Slayer, I'm your biggest fan. Can I add you as a friend? Are you taking apprentices? I'll be your loyal follower. The entrance to the dungeon was surrounded by a sea of players, packed so tightly that not even a drop of water could pass through. The lowest level among them was 50, with many high-level and even top-tier players above level 1000 mixed in. All of them crowded around the level 1 Demon Slayer with the fervor of fans greeting a celebrity at the airport. Su Yan felt a little overwhelmed by the attention. But instead of being annoyed as he had imagined, he found these players rather endearing. Smiling at the crowd, he said, "Sorry, I still have dungeons to clear. Please disperse." The voice of this future human emperor only made the crowd even more excited. To them, the 4 human emperors with SSS talents had always been aloof and mysterious, rarely showing themselves. But Demon Slayer was so approachable, what's not to love? Demon Slayer, does this mean you're going to try to break your own record? Are you saying that wasn't your limit? When are you going to reach level 2? A barrage of questions erupted from the players. Su Yan could only shake his head helplessly, turning to speak with the dungeon NPC. In a flash of white light, he disappeared. These people, so nosy. Seeing Demon Slayer re-enter the dungeon, the players outside didn't leave. Instead, their excitement grew as they waited at the entrance. They were determined to witness the birth of a new record. Su Yan, lacking a personal link crystal, could only log into the land of divine punishment through his school. Time was precious. He raced against the clock, grinding experience and endlessly stacking his HP limit with the attributes of his Blood Dawn staff. With the Flame Forbidden Curse, he didn't need to change his class or weapon. Efficiency skyrocketed. When he was fully focused, it took him just over 4 minutes on average to clear the dungeon. By midday, he quickly scarfed down 10 bowls of rice before diving back into the land of divine punishment. This is ridiculous. Don't these people need to level up? Why are they just hanging around? To his dismay, the entrance to the dungeon was still packed with players, all staring intently at the entrance, desperate with anticipation. In an unnoticed corner of the crowd, a level 1352 warrior leaned casually against an old tree, holding a broken sword. Calmly, he said. It's been a while without another world announcement. Clearly, 3 minutes and 59 seconds is Demon Slayer's limit. I told you, every freak has their boundaries. What do you think, Ah Ling? The female player beside him, called Ah Ling, replied softly, maybe. The warrior chuckled. Well, let's go then. We've seen Demon Slayer. Waiting any longer is pointless. The boss is already urging us. Let's go. When Demon Slayer reappeared, the scene erupted once more. Su Yan had grown accustomed to the chaos. Amid the noise, he pieced together the reason why the players refused to leave. So they're all waiting for me to break my own record. With a sigh, he had attempted several times to beat his fastest clear time. But his relaxed mindset meant he never broke 4 minutes. Buzz. Suddenly, his right palm grew hot, emitting a buzzing sound only he could hear. Startled, Su Yan raised his hand to see the shackle mark on his palm glowing blood red. This is the Dawn Goddess? Su Yan suddenly remembered the slumbering deity sealed in his palm. He immediately focused his mind, reaching out to connect with the Dawn Goddess. Soon, a divine yet reverent voice echoed in his mind, Master. Su Yan cut straight to the point, Dawn, can you help me clear the dungeon? After a few seconds, the goddess's gentle voice replied, Of course, Master. A wave of excitement surged through Su Yan. What should I do next? Morningglow said, just release me from the shackles mark, and I'll handle everything for you. Su Yan suddenly understood, rubbing his temples. After all, his current power was weak, and communicating with a deity using his spiritual sense was quite challenging. However, since he had signed a contract with Morningglow, he felt assured that releasing her wouldn't result in betrayal. As he searched for a way to remove the shackles mark, he noticed that a golden skill called Summon Deity had silently appeared in his skill menu. Summon Deity LV1. Summon a shackled deity to open the divine domain. Cooldown, 2 hours. There's still time before class ends. With this cooldown, I can use it twice. Let's try it once first. Filled with anticipation, Su Yan persuaded the NPC and entered the Wolf King Valley dungeon again. With a mid-tier deity boasting a level 12 divinity helping him grind, the experience was unprecedented. He thought to himself, as long as nothing went wrong, with the assistance of Morningglow, he should be able to break the completion record. Without much hesitation, he began. A flash of light. The next moment, Su Yan found himself in the damp, cold valley. Without a second thought, he extended his palm and activated the shackles mark. Come forth, Morningglow Goddess. Boom! Instantly, immense divine power erupted from the mark, engulfing the entire valley. Terrified howls echoed from the wolves. Holy light permeated the area, quickly dispelling the darkness as the light of dawn consumed every corner. Suddenly, time seemed to stand still. Silver flowers crazily bloomed on the valley walls, transforming into a sea of blossoms in an instant. From the air, a graceful woman stepped out barefoot, clad in a pure white gown with flowing silver hair. A storm swirled around her, her hair billowing in the wind. Her elegant figure trembled faintly in the morning light. She opened her divine eyes and extended her delicate, alabaster arm, lightly tapping her finger. Annihilate. The single word was softly spoken, yet it unleashed a shockwave of divine power. Wherever it touched, silver wolves, elite silver wolves, and even the silver wolf king deeper within were instantly reduced to ash. Before Su Yan could react, notifications of rewards flooded in. EXP plus 1100. EXP plus 1100. Obtains silver wolf meat. Su Yan's eyes widened in shock. No way, is it over just like that? He had thought summoning the Morningglow Goddess would at least involve a symbolic 2-minute battle. But the goddess merely pointed, and all the enemies were obliterated? The power of a deity, it's terrifying. He swallowed hard, looking up at the Morningglow Goddess radiating divine light in midair. The goddess slightly bowed, her expression both sacred and noble as she said, Master, Morningglow has fulfilled her mission. All targets are eliminated. Su Yan nodded solemnly. Excellent. Their gazes met, human and deity, and a deeper connection began to form. Meanwhile, in the tranquil, azure sky of divine punishment, a majestic, ethereal voice boomed. Congratulations to player Demon Slayer for solo clearing the Wolf King Valley dungeon in 4 seconds. Completion rating? The announcement came so unexpectedly. At the dungeon's entrance, players who had already given up were stunned. Under an old tree nearby, a warrior about to leave froze in his tracks, his eyes sparkling with disbelief. A female player beside him looked up at the sky, her face full of astonishment. Oh my god, Demon Slayer broke the record again. The warrior exclaimed in shock, his face full of incredulity. 4 seconds? How is that even possible? The world chat was immediately flooded with question marks. No one asked for details, they all knew one thing. Demon Slayer was unstoppable. Demon Slayer was the pride of humanity. At that moment, human players were in an uproar. They raised their arms and cheered. From this day forward, the level 50 Wolf King Valley dungeon would bear a new record. 4 seconds. This completion time. Even the human Emperor Mo1 was left speechless, and Yi Jibai couldn't help but shed tears. What could one do in 4 seconds? Practically nothing. Yet Demon Slayer cleared the dungeon solo in 4 seconds. This man was terrifying. A true 4-second legend. After an eruption of celebration, the world chat finally quieted down. Suddenly, Demon Slayer spoke. Does anyone know the demon god? Can someone introduce me? I'd like to have a chat. Highlighted text. The moment Demon Slayer's message appeared on the world chat, everyone froze. It took a while for them to process it before the chat erupted again with exclamations. Is this guy even human? Demon god, a mere level 1 human dares to talk to me? Wait, what? It's Demon Slayer? Never mind then. Demon Slayer is too insane. The strongest SSS talent holder, no doubt. Demon Slayer's ID makes it clear he's getting straight for the demon god, no beating around the bush. Level 1 or not, he'll still take down the demon god. Suddenly, an ancient player named Gu Xingxie chimed in, looking for a wife. Must be female. Demon Slayer's single comment caused the world chat to explode. Even players who had been lurking for years couldn't help but surface, flooding the channel with support for Demon Slayer. Today, they were all his die-hard fans. Nothing could shake their loyalty. At the same time, atop the windswept peak of Shura City, a figure in white stood amidst the raging winds, gazing into the void where a lightning-clad silhouette loomed. Unbelievable. Demon Slayer has broken the Wolf King dungeon record again, and in just 4 seconds. Could this be real? Is there truly someone with such immense talent? A hidden voice responded, you already know the answer. Why ask? The figure in white pursed their lips. But why is Demon Slayer still level 1? Don't dungeons grant level ups? Demon Slayer is different. If I'm not mistaken, he has awakened 2 SSS level talents. The figure in white inhaled sharply. 2 talents? Is that even possible for one person? This world's mysteries far exceed our understanding. He will rise to the extraordinary, becoming the strongest in human history. The strongest. The figure in white whispered, such a genius. Shouldn't the Demon Extermination Academy launch the Dawn Plan to protect him around the clock? It's unnecessary. Why? Even I cannot discern his true identity, which means he is protected by the creation laws tied to divine punishment. This is the will of the gods and his own will. True strength is born in solitude. All we need to do is wait for the day he rises. Humanity's future rests on his shoulders alone. The figure in white was shaken but suddenly asked, I have one more question. As the lightning dissipated, a faint voice lingered. Don't ask. Another question, and you'll die. The figure in white was stunned. What did that mean? They were the peak battle god, an SSS level talent holder, and leader of the Demon Extermination Academy. The execution of demons, could it only be asked in such a manner? Ask again, and death awaits? At this moment, inside the Wolf King Valley dungeon. After Su Yan finished his statement, he waited briefly before closing the channel. His reasoning was simple, he was showing off. But on a deeper level, he was trying to attract the demon god's attention. The demon god. According to the textbooks, it was a calamity for humanity. 200 years ago, it descended upon Blue Star alongside the divine punishment lands, leading countless demonic armies to devour human territories like locusts. Today, most nations have become wastelands. Later, humanity's nations united to form an alliance, slowly turning the tide. Under the leadership of the 4 human emperors of Huagua, they have been locked in a bitter struggle against the demon god ever since. Su Yan's thought was, the demon god has harmed humanity so much. Why not directly subdue it with his divine shackles? The demon god is still a god, right? That should work. The trouble, however, was that the demon god had never shown itself. No matter how intense the human-demon wars became, it remained a figure of legend. So now, Su Yan's plan was to lure the demon god out and draw the divine punishment lands into the open. As for his earlier words, he was confident the demon god had seen them. Demon god, do you dare face me head-on? Standing in the narrow valley path, Su Yan, relying on the morning goddess as his backing, raised his middle finger to the sky in challenge. But the sky remained indifferent, as blue and serene as ever. Su Yan immediately decided. From now on, he would log in daily to call out the demon god's name. He didn't believe the demon god could tolerate it forever. Swoosh! Beside him, the sacred figure of the morning goddess abruptly flickered and vanished into the sea of flowers, retreating back into the shackle mark on his palm. 5 minutes? Su Yan noted the timing. The duration of summoning a god at level 1 was exactly 5 minutes. To extend it, he'd need to level up the skill. Upgrade requirements, 19,999,999 XP, 10 blood silver flowers, 1 heart of the demon core. Clearly, this was far beyond what a level 1 newbie like him could manage. Better figure out the newbie map first. Su Yan muttered, stretching lazily as he prepared to continue grinding the dungeon. The divine shackles were strong, but personal power mattered more. He needed to keep improving himself. Dungeon hidden ranking rewards have been distributed. Please check your inventory. A reward notification suddenly popped up, and Su Yan's eyes lit up. He thought he'd already claimed first place. He hadn't expected an extra reward. Let's see. He opened his inventory. Inside were 500,000 gold coins, plus 200 to all attributes, a divine domain, LV01, and the eternal dungeon seal. 4 rewards at once? Su Yan was ecstatic. The gold coins alone boosted his total assets. Combined with his existing 378,000, he was now close to 1 million. 2 days ago, he'd had barely a few hundred coins. Now, with such sudden wealth, it was hard not to feel a little lightheaded. Don't get cocky. The money needs to go toward improving my strength. Strength is what truly matters. He shook his head, calming himself, before continuing to examine his rewards. The plus 200 to all attributes was exactly what he needed, bringing his stats to Constitution, 842, Spirit, 510, Strength, 510, Intelligence, 510, Agility, 577. This power should be enough to crush level 100 players, but it's still not enough. I need to keep pushing. Su Yan murmured to himself, his expression serious. Divine Domain LV, 1*. Activate a domain with a radius of 100 times, level superscript 2 meters. During this time, your attributes are increased by 1000 points, critical rate plus 100%, and enemies' attributes are reduced by 50%. Lasts 20 seconds. Cooldown, 2 hours. Mana cost, 1000. Looking at the divine domain, Su Yan exclaimed. This skill is insane. Open the domain, and the enemy is already crippled before they even move. This morning, he'd acquired a forbidden spell, and now, in the afternoon, he had a domain. The rewards just kept piling up. Of course, he understood that these rewards weren't handed out to just anyone. You had to first clear the dungeon in 4 seconds to qualify. The final reward was Eternal Dungeon Seal. Your strength has reached extraordinary levels. You may leave a permanent mark in the dungeon for other players to observe and honor. Su Yan was puzzled. Isn't this like carving so-and-so was here? But those kinds of marks only revealed poor taste and attracted criticism. This seemed to be intended as positive recognition. After hesitating for a moment, he drew his Shura sword and carved words into the stone wall behind the Silver Wolf King. Seeking the demon god's home address urgent. The words embedded themselves into the stone, glowing faintly. The sword mark has been created. Each player may observe and honor it once, earning 1 XP upon completion. Su Yan nearly laughed out loud. Just 1 XP? Was this a joke? He was about to complain when a world announcement suddenly echoed above him. Player, Demon Slayer, has left a permanent sword mark in the Wolf King Valley dungeon. Players may enter to observe and receive unexpected rewards. The announcement reverberated throughout the Divine Punishment lands. Every player was stunned. A permanent sword mark? Never heard of that before. In the 200 years since the Divine Punishment descended, no one had known it was possible to leave marks in a dungeon. Can someone explain? What's the deal with this sword mark? Same question. Hey, you two above, stop pretending. You're newbies, so what does that make me at level 66? Someone get the 3 human emperors to clarify. At this moment, not only were the ordinary players shocked, even the reclusive, godlike warriors of humanity furrowed their brows in thought. Leaving a sword mark in a dungeon? Could this be a unique privilege for clearing it in 4 seconds? While the world chat was exploding with speculation. Near a crooked old tree, a warrior clutching a broken blade raised an eyebrow and asked curiously, "A sword mark? Can we study it?" Beside him, a female player softly replied, "Let's go check it out." The warrior hesitated slightly, then chuckled. "Are you serious, Ailing? This is just a newbie dungeon. At our level, what could we possibly gain from observing a sword mark?" "Just a quick look," the woman replied gently, her movements graceful as the wind, stepping into the dungeon. 2 minutes tops. The warrior sighed, following closely behind. That's enough. At the entrance of Wolf King Valley dungeon, 2 radiant figures slowly approached, their powerful aura silencing the surroundings instantly. Players whispered among themselves. The elite from the Divine Strategy Legion is here. They're from the Shinji Battalion. So impressive. The Shinji Battalion is the elite strike force. Legend has it that the human emperor, Dugu, also originated from there. Their level is at least S-class. True legends. The crowd automatically made way, watching them with a mix of respect and awe, even fear. These were true killing machines, forged through countless battles and flames of war. In the narrow corridor, a warrior and a female player walked side by side, their expressions cold and detached. Isn't that woman only level 999? I thought the Shinji Battalion required a minimum of level 1000 to enlist? Shoo, don't talk nonsense. Do you have a death wish? The female player hesitated for a moment, but continued forward, eventually joining the warrior as both disappeared in a flash of white light in front of the NPC, entering the dungeon. According to the rules of the Divine Punishment dungeon, entry was unrestricted, but low-level players received no rewards upon completion. This effectively prevented high-level players from farming the instance. In the damp and shadowy valley path. After so many years, they had finally returned to the beginner's dungeon. The warrior showed no nostalgia, only concern as he asked, Ailing, have you really decided to go alone? Ailing interrupted, you know I have no other choice. Is there truly no other way to break through? The warrior sighed. Ailing's gaze dimmed as she sighed, if there was, I would have done it 15 years ago. Level 999 had become her lifelong pain. For 15 years, she had been stuck at this level, unable to progress. 20 years ago, she shone like a meteor among humanity, reaching level 999 in just 5 years thanks to her talent in hidden class. Everyone had high hopes for her, believing she would surpass even the god of war. But a year later, her attempt to break through failed due to the limitations of her hidden class, as her strength attribute didn't meet the requirement. Attribute points were hard to come by, only obtainable through higher-level maps. Yet the rules of divine punishment required a successful breakthrough to unlock higher-level maps. Without it, she was forever stuck at 999. Over the past 15 years, she had tried every possible method, including grinding for top dungeon rankings, all to no avail. Her only option now was to venture into the depths of the Nine Netherlands to seek the heart of the demon core, then commission a grandmaster to craft an attribute-enhancing elixir. Hearing Ailing's explanation, the warrior couldn't bear to say, that path is nearly certain death. No one has ever returned alive. Are you really up for this? You can easily handle anything below level 1300. You don't have to push yourself this hard. Ailing listened silently, her shoulders trembling slightly. Then she looked up and smiled gently, squinting as she said, I don't want to merely survive anymore. Don't try to dissuade me. I respect your decision, the warrior said, looking at her, his expression full of sorrow. With her hands clasped behind her back, Ailing straightened her posture and smiled. To see the future human emperor Jean Mo before I go, I have no regrets. The sword mark is just ahead. Let's go. The warrior nodded. We only have 1 minute left. I know. Suddenly, a black mist exploded around Ailing, and the gentle young woman transformed into a pitch-black shadow. Her figure shifted constantly, eventually turning into a dense fog with a long tail, emitting a sinister, eerie laugh. The black aura of death spread through the air, swiftly flying deeper into the valley. Along the way, silver wolves and elite silver wolves dropped dead one after another. In less than 10 seconds, the scene was breathtaking. The warrior heard a piercing howl from the silver wolf king at the end of the valley. Dark Knight Enchantress, so powerful. He couldn't help but feel a surge of envy. Deep within the valley, Ailing and the warrior easily located the permanent sword mark left by Jean Mo, standing before a stone wall. Seeking the demon god's address, urgent. The two stared at the words carved into the wall, momentarily stunned. This is the sword mark? The warrior couldn't help but burst out laughing. The hell does seeking the demon god's address mean? If I knew it, I'd have reported it for a reward ages ago. Suddenly, a prompt appeared on their screens, enter to observe, yes or no? The warrior muttered, this sword mark doesn't seem very reliable. Doesn't look like it offers any rewards. But in the end, he chose yes. Observing. You have comprehended the secret of job change from the sword mark and gained 1 job change opportunity. The warrior, who had held no expectations, widened his eyes in shock, his entire body trembling with excitement. I got a job change opportunity. He was ecstatic, shouting with joy, but then suddenly froze. Ailing stood with her eyes closed, a powerful aura surrounding her, growing increasingly intense. Buzz! A dazzling golden light burst from her body, illuminating the entire valley in a brilliant gold. After half a minute, Ailing opened her eyes in surprise and exclaimed, I've broken through. The warrior was dumbfounded in front of the stone wall. Ailing had actually broken through. He was so overjoyed that he felt like a child, even more thrilled than when he had gained the job change opportunity. He quickly checked Ailing's level. Wind chime, level 1000. The warrior swallowed hard, his emotions surging as he burst into laughter, laughing so hard his face was about to split. Incredible! Ailing has been stuck at level 999 for 15 years, and she's finally broken through. This is amazing. He waved his arms around, completely unlike the composed demeanor of a top-tier human player. Ailing stood there in a daze for a long time, as if she were dreaming. Finally, she squinted and smiled, saying, yes, brother. The warrior froze, his eyes welling up with tears. Ailing, you finally called me brother again. As he turned to wipe his eyes, he glanced back at the sword mark and sighed. Jean Mo's sword mark is truly extraordinary. Without it, I would have almost missed the greatest opportunity of my life. He's an SSS tier talent, Jean Mo, who rose to prominence alone while providing benefits to all humanity. Truly unprecedented in human emperor history. Ailing nodded, her gaze fixed on the sword mark, deep in thought. The warrior said excitedly, Ailing, let's spread the word and get everyone in humanity to enter the dungeon and observe the sword mark. With it, humanity's combat strength will skyrocket. Alright. 2 minutes after the sword mark announcement. The world chat was still in chaos. Has anyone observed the sword mark yet? What's the reward? If it's good, I'll buy a teleport scroll to the beginner map right now. No idea, we're still fighting mobs. Damn, I just died. Level 5 female knight looking for a teen to enter Wolf King Valley dungeon. Rewards don't matter, I just want to see the sword mark. Female knight? What's your talent? E tier. Rank E won't do, it's too weak. At the very least, it has to be rank C. But my cup size is E2. Damn, At that moment, a message suddenly popped up in the world chat. Foamling, thank you, Jean-Mo. Your sword mark saved me and gave me rebirth. I'll be forever grateful. Everyone noticed it instantly, speculating that this person had already observed the sword mark. A level 99 player asked, Sister Foamling, how did you get reborn? Tell us. Then they saw Foamling's level and were stunned. Whoa, 1000 level? Grandma Foamling, I was wrong. Your grandson won't dare talk nonsense again. The world chat erupted in excitement, with everyone envying this 1000 level powerhouse. No wonder she finished observing the sword mark so quickly. Players began bombarding Foamling with questions, desperate to learn the details of her rebirth and the power of the sword mark. Foamling remained silent. Frustrated, players had no choice but to wait for other top-tier players to clear the challenge and reveal the answer. Jianpa chimed in, let me explain briefly. Ah Ling was stuck at level 999 for 15 years. After observing Jean-Mo's sword mark, she finally broke through to level 1000. I, too, gained a class change opportunity from observing it. So yeah, Jean-Mo's sword mark is incredibly powerful. Everyone should go observe it. And don't forget to thank Jean-Mo. These words instantly ignited the world chat, spreading rapidly across China, the Human Alliance, and the entire Blue Star. Players of the human race flooded the beginner's map, making teleport scrolls the hottest item in the auction house. 2 minutes later, an excited player reported, Jianpa was right. I observed the sword mark and got a second talent awakening. Thank you, Jean-Mo. I also changed my class. Jean-Mo is incredible. Thank you, Jean-Mo. Thank you, Jean-Mo. More and more players received rewards and expressed their gratitude to Jean-Mo. On the forums, the Silver Wolf King boss's kill count topped the 24-hour leaderboard. That day became the Silver Wolf King's nightmare. Achoo! Achoo! Su Yan, who had just taken down the Silver Wolf King in the Wolf King Canyon dungeon, sneezed repeatedly. After leaving the sword mark, he ran the dungeon again. Seeing the world chat flooded with players thanking Jean-Mo, Su Yan smiled with a sense of accomplishment. Especially when that 1000 level player, Foamling, said she'd be grateful to him for life, whether true or not, it felt good. His experience bar began to rapidly update. Experience +1. Experience +1. Experience +1. A casual glance made Su Yan's eyes widen. What the? Why is my experience increasing so fast? I had just over 6 million, and now it's over 56 million? Have 50 million players observed my sword mark in just a few minutes? The realization made him take a long, deep breath. It seemed the sword mark was the greatest invention in human history. He needed to leave more of them. It was far easier and faster than grinding dungeons to level up. He could earn experience while doing nothing. But Su Yan wasn't blinded by the praise. He knew he still had to grind dungeons to stack his health points. Focused on dungeon runs, he pushed himself harder than anyone else. By the end of the afternoon, he was utterly exhausted. Before logging off for the day, his health points had reached 100,000. Having 100,000 health at level 1 was equivalent to a top-tier level 200 player. With his Divine Domain mode activated, he could easily one-shot a level 200 boss. My damage output is already enough to obliterate level 200 bosses. A determined glint appeared in Su Yan's eyes. Switching to a new map was inevitable. However, according to the rules of Divine Punishment, he couldn't leave the beginner's map until he reached level 50 and broke through. Finding a way to level up was his next challenge. After finishing up in Divine Punishment, he sat in the last row of the classroom, sighing. His deskmate, Tang Xia, sighed too. Su Yan asked, "What are you sighing about?" Tang Xia, twirling her ponytail, replied, Jean-Mo left a sword mark in the dungeon. I really want to observe it, but my level's too low. I barely made it out of the starter village before getting wrecked by monsters. After school, the classroom buzzed with chatter about how players couldn't observe the sword mark because their levels were too low. Su Yan chuckled smugly, trying to observe it at your level? You're asking for death. Tang Xia, annoyed, raised her foot to kick him. Her skirt lifted slightly, and she quickly pressed it down, her face turning red as she backed off. Dad's already level 12. What about you? Tang Xia challenged, glaring at him. Su Yan feigned indifference and smirked, Grandpa's level 50. I'll leave the beginner's map tomorrow. How's that for you? Yeah, right. After their playful banter, Su Yan slung his backpack over his shoulder and walked home with one hand in his pocket. Half an hour later, he arrived home on time. I'm back. He called out, changing his shoes as he stepped inside. The moment he entered, his attention was drawn to a glowing crystal on the coffee table. Linking crystal? Xiao Panxue emerged from her room, speaking coolly. Calm down. It's a gift for you. A gift? Why are you giving me this? Su Yan paused, his face full of confusion. The linking crystal was worth a whopping 1 billion yuan and required significant connections to acquire. Just how powerful was Xiao Panxue's family? Turning to look, Su Yan noticed Xiao Panxue wearing a silky, revealing camisole nightdress. Her fair, smooth skin and flawless curves were mesmerizing. What's the matter? Don't believe in your sister's abilities, she asked, walking over with a cold demeanor. Her skirt swayed lightly, exuding an irresistible allure. Su Yan felt flustered but kept his composure, chewing on his milk to maintain his calm. Xiao Panxue sat down and explained, I exchanged my academic credits for it. Consider it your 18th birthday gift. So that's what it was. Su Yan's expression softened with admiration. In college, completing missions earned academic credits that could be exchanged for rare items, something he could only dream of.